Good evening and welcome to Richmond, Virginia for tonight's running of the Autolite Platinum 250 for NASCAR Busch Grand National Series cars, live from the Richmond International Raceway. Hello everybody, I'm Glenn Jarrett and we're glad to be back on TNN bringing you exciting NASCAR Busch Series action. On the search for that 17th possible different winner tonight, we don't have to go very far back in the field. In fact, he's the pole sitter, Jason Keller. Jason, I know you'd love to get that first win here tonight.
I tell you, the Budget Gourmet car's running great tonight, and I'd like to do it for all the people at Budget Gourmet that's helped me. My crew put a great car up under me. I just need to stay out of trouble tonight.
Well, we want to wish him luck. I think he's going to need it. He's had 3 poles already this year, but he has yet to post a top 5 finish. If Jason should falter, though, there's a guy in the second row who hasn't won yet, and he can surely take up the slack. Randy Pemberton is with him.
No question about it, Glenn. That is Michael Waltrip. He'll start from position 4 this evening here at Richmond. Now, he's won here, and he won it in 1990 at this racetrack, but unfortunately, you haven't won, Michael, since back in May 29th, 1993. Can you turn it around tonight in the Busch Series?
Well, we think so. We set this car up to take advantage of these cool night temperatures. We didn't know how that would affect us qualifying, but everything turned out pretty good. Want to say hello to everybody back in Owensboro, Mom and Dad and brothers and sisters. Caitlin, Marie, I love you. And Ernie, if you're watching, everything sounds great, and we're glad you're doing better.
Okay, that's Michael Waltrip. Now let's go upstairs to the man that'll call the action for this evening's race, Mike Joy.
Thanks, Randy, and good evening, everybody. It's time for the showdown at sundown here at Richmond International. And in the Busch Series, the point battle, well, it's a hot one as well. David Green leads the points over Ricky Craven, Chad Little, Hermie Sadler, and Kenny Wallace. So they'll be chasing points and the win tonight. And for all these drivers, maybe something more. Darrell Waltrip joins me. They're not just racing to win. This is an audition of sorts, you were saying.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot of pressure on some of these guys, Mike, because they know that there's a lot going on in the Winston Cup Series right now. A lot of driver changes, a lot of sponsor changes. There's some seats open for next year. And there's not really that much talent floating around in the Cup Series right now. I think these guys realize it's a great opportunity to step up and take one of those Winston Cup rides, particularly if they can put on a good show here tonight in front of some of these Cup owners, whom I happen to be one, and I will be watching closely.
Good possibility. Also with us, the professor, Buddy Baker. You've conducted some schools here and raced a lot here. What's so tough about this track?
Well, I was talking to Darrell a little while, and he says getting off turn 2 is absolutely the key. The front end takes off towards the wall almost head on, and once you get it turned, the back end wants to fly out towards the wall. Then he said getting into turn 1's a little tough. Then he says getting into 3 is really tough, and getting off 4 is a little tough too. So, in other words, folks, this thing is tough to get around.
We'll see just how tough it is when we come back to Richmond International Raceway. You're watching Busch Series Racing live on the Nashville Network.
I love my new hot rod. Those flames scare the other guys. 5,000 horsepower helps too. And a fat bankroll. You know, we've been running Autolite spark plugs forever, but I could wring more money out of someone else. Money's good. My crew burns it. So I tell the guys we're going to run a different plug. They say no. I say I'm the boss. They say Autolite keeps this monster lit. So I tell them I was just kidding.
There's no place on earth that I'd rather be out in the open where it's all plain to see. If it's gonna get done, it's up to you and to me. And there's no place that I'd rather be. Come on along and head for the mountains of Busch Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth, and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Busch Beer.
This is the perfect time to try my new Polaroid Captiva. Smile!
Hey, where's the picture?
There's no picture?
Did you see the picture come out? How can that be a Polaroid camera if there's no picture?
It doesn't look like a Polaroid camera.
It's not a Polaroid camera.
Presenting the Polaroid Captiva. It's sleek, it's stylish. Its pocket-sized pictures stay in a special compartment till you take them out, so you're free to shoot and shoot.
Maybe if you shake it.
Yeah, shake the camera.
The Polaroid Captiva. The pictures stay in till you take them out.
In New Britain, Connecticut, people don't need a Wall Street genius to tell them where to put their money. After all, New Britain's the home for Stanley. And even a modest investment in Stanley tools, painting equipment, doors, and hardware can pay handsome dividends down the road. So before you sink a nickel in municipal bonds or soybean futures, how about a new Stanley garage door?
Tonight's exclusive TNN coverage of the Autolite Platinum 250 is brought to you by Allied Signals Autolite Spark Plugs. Guaranteed for 2 years, no matter how far you go. By Smooth Busch Beer and easy drinking Busch Light. Busch, the official beer of NASCAR. By Polaroid Captiva. The pictures stay in until you take them out. And by Stanley. Since 1843, Stanley's been helping people do things right. Nice crowd on hand here at Richmond, and the man in the moon looking on. We're trying to decide if it's a waning or a waxing moon. Well,
I think it's waning.
There is no wane in the forecast, and let's get right to the starting grid, brought to you by Sears Die Hard. Jason Keller has his third pole position of the year, and David Green has a 91-point lead going into tonight's race. Row number 2, Dennis Setzer, a winner at South Boston and Hickory, the leading rookie, and Michael Waltrip, third at Charlotte in May. Row 3, Derek Cope, the New Hampshire winner in May, and Kenny Wallace, who won 2 weeks ago at Bristol. Row 4, Ricky Craven, a 2-time winner this year, and Mark Martin, who won last week at Darlington. Row 5, Jeff Purvis was 5th at Talladega, and Johnny Benson, 4th last week at Darlington, eating into Setzer's rookie point lead. Jimmy Spencer finished 4th at Dover in June. Bobby Labonte won at Michigan last month. Morgan Shepherd won here in '83. Hermie Sadler 4th in the points. Joe Nemechek won here in March. Sterling Marlin ran 4th at Talladega. Dale Earnhardt missed the show last time we were here. Mike McLaughlin's had some good top 5s lately. Elton Sawyer won at Myrtle Beach. Robert Presley moving up to Winston Cup next year. Mike Stefanik, modified champion of a few years back, and Stevie Reeves, the USAC midget champ. Chad Little and Tommy Houston, Phil Parsons, Larry Pearson, Randy LaJoy and Roy Payne, Jim Bound and Bobby Daughter, and then the provisionals. Back to Terry Labonte and Steve Grissom, Rodney Combs, Dave Rezendes, Patty Moise and Michael Rich, then Tracy Leslie and Tim Fedowa. Tommy Ellis takes the champions provisional to start scratch, just a couple of grand away from $1 million in career winnings, and may hit that mark tonight. A lot of flashbulbs going off in the grandstand as we get set to roll. You'll ride with Ricky Craven tonight in the DuPont Chevrolet. There's a look at his race cam. Looking ahead at Derek Cope. And Randy LaJoy in the Phenolube Chevrolet of Dick Moroso. And Mark Martin cleaning off the tires in the Winn-Dixie Ford. Right behind Kenny Wallace. And finally, the Virginia's for Lovers Chevrolet, Hermie Sadler. There behind Jimmy Spencer. Off the left of his car. Getting set to go. Pace car will take one more lap. 250 laps tonight. A little different show under the lights here.
Oh, yeah, this is great. I love this kind of racing, and look at those race cars. They just all pop out at you. It looks like you got your contrast turned up real high on your TV set.
39 cars will start tonight's race. It's a lot of cars to pack onto this 3/4 mile. They'll run 250 laps. Mark Martin holds the record for this race.
You know, Mike, one thing about night racing, even though it's under the lights, you actually see more racetrack and more of what's going on in front of you by having just the racing surface lit than on the daylight. In daylight hours, you look around and you see things that distract you a little bit.
There is so much light here, buddy, though, that the whole grandstand is bathed in light, and the infield is darkened somewhat and off the backstretch. So you're right. I think your view is more focused to what's going on the racetrack, and there'll be action aplenty, and we're about to get to it. Pontiac Trans Am safety car is on pit road. Jason Keller brings him around pretty slowly, and we're under green. Jason Keller on the pole for the 3rd time this year. Heads them off into turn 1. Look at him 3 wide back there. Jimmy Spencer right caught in the middle.
David Green's on the outside there, Mike, and he's really got a good line there. I think he'll be able to pull ahead of Jason Keller. Now you see Keller coming back on the inside there.
That'll lead the first lap. It'll be David Green. 10th race he's led this year. 3 wide again. They didn't waste any time getting at it.
Darryl, you're going to have to tell Michael to get on that thing. He's moving right on up into 2nd place there. He's got the better line off the corner, a little faster down the straightaway and come off on the outside there.
Yeah, and this front straightaway is real conducive to that kind of 3 wide racing. It's so wide, and then it just kind of funnels all up into turn 1. That's where you got to tighten things up a little bit.
First few cars single file. There's Kenny Wallace side by side with Ricky Craven, 2 of the battlers for this championship. They are 2nd and 5th in the points coming into tonight. Mark Martin's right behind them.
The one thing about Mark Martin, he'll sit there for a couple of laps and kind of get everything going along the way he wants it, and then he'll start to move toward the front. That race car is really fast. It was fast in practice.
And Kenny Wallace drops in line behind Craven.
Yeah, right now everybody's real happy with their car. They're probably calling the radio and say, oh, my car's perfect, but that won't last long.
No, as soon as those tires get hot, you'll think somebody oiled this racetrack.
That's right. There's a lot of bumping and grinding going on back in the field. I tell you right now, it's tight racing at this point.
Craven underneath Derek Cope.
That's the one good part about Richmond. You can run 2 abreast there, maybe 3 abreast sometimes.
Up ahead of those cars, battle for third. Dennis Setzer underneath pole sitter Jason Keller makes the pass.
Yeah, as I said, Mike, that's just kind of how this track is. You got that good wide front straightaway, and you can take that low line and really dive into turn 1 and get by a guy pretty easy.
Mike, you can see Dennis Setzer wave to him. Thank you very much for letting me by without fighting me all the way up through here. And he'll repay that pleasure one of these days when they're both racing for position.
And here again, Derek Cope caught up on the high side by Mark Martin and the 51 of Jeff Purvis. From the back of Mark Martin's car, it's Derek Cope on the left, right side of your screen, Jeff Purvis.
Darrell, that's the ideal way to see the race, is to look in the mirror and see everybody.
It really is. Yeah, and don't adjust your TV set. That 51 car really is that color. That's a wild paint job on that race car.
Yes, it is. Country Time Lemonade. Chevrolet of Purvis. Our Ray Bestis aerial platform giving you these views, and we'll see a lot of this tonight from up overhead. Now watch as they go into turn 3, standard oval track corner. But look at this front straightaway. There's turn 4, and there's turn 4, and there's turn 4, and there's turn 4, and all of a sudden you're in turn 1, and you haven't really straightened out yet, have you?
No, not really. And that car that's handling really well will come off the bottom, off turn 4 there, and he can stick to the bottom of the racetrack and keep a low line.
There's Michael Waltrip trying to get under David Green coming up off the corner. He's made this move in practice 3 or 4 times. He practiced this low line getting down the front straightaway to get a better edge getting into turn 1.
Well, it's a shorter route, buddy. I mean, if you take that low line, you're going to get there sooner. The question is if the entry into the turn, if you can make the turn or not. But I was real disappointed, Mike. We said hi to everybody but his brother up here in the booth tonight. I couldn't believe it.
Look at Dennis Setzer move in on the first 2 cars here. This boy has really run well in the past 5 or 6 races. Kind of like old DW here. He'll work on them if he has a good race car.
Yeah, well, there's 2 Owensboro boys there in the front, David Green and Michael, and Setzer, he just got in between them. But I tell you, that kid's done a good job. Setzer has, and Mike McLaughlin and some other guys have really improved over the last few months.
Here's Darrell Waltrip at Sterling Marlin, 14th and 15th, trying to move up.
That's Robert Presley in the 35 car. He's moved over to the McLaughlin car there, or Mike Laughlin's car, pardon me, and he's doing real well. He's getting under Sterling Marlin there and taking the spot away from the 4 car.
Tommy Houston's on pit road as we watch this battle for the lead.
Yeah, how you like that, Uncle?
Oh, whoa! Let's watch this in turn 2.
That was Jim Bound driving away there. He had some damage to the rear of the car.
Tracy Leslie, Rodney Combs are involved.
Rodney's got some pretty bad trouble there. He's trying to move, but the car looks like it's been up pretty bad on the left front there.
First caution comes out of lap 13 for a multiple car incident in turn 2. There's Combs, the French's Mustard car pulls away. Searching replays, but here's, well, the aftermath. Roy Payne is the black car at the top of your screen.
Boy, Tracy Leslie tried everything in the world to get through there. He just didn't have anywhere to go.
Tim Fedewood just missed it. There's the damage to Rodney Combs' car. First caution of the day comes out of lap number 13. Dennis Setzer and Michael Waltrip at the front of the field.
Fuel. It's got to be the best, especially when you fire up. It's got to provide efficient turnover. It's got to be lean and have some rare qualities. A WD brand steak from Winn-Dixie. It'll definitely get your motor racing. Oh, the car? It takes high test.
I bought my car new in 1970. I drove a hockey team 190-mile round trip 3 times a week.
Haviland Formula 3 from Texaco.
I took good care of it. And when I reached 300,000, I thought, I've got to be a pretty good car.
No other leading motor oil offers more complete protection to help your car run better, last longer.
At 600,000, I thought, maybe it could be the Haviland.
Haviland Formula 3. Why add just any motor oil? Add more life to your car.
You know, working at AutoZone is more than just looking up parts or ringing up sales. Most of all is listening. Because my customers know more about their cars than I'll ever know. They know every rattle by heart. I mean, that car is their baby. So when they got a problem they're going to fix themselves, I'm going to do my best to help them get whatever they need, no matter what it takes. Because people like that, they don't deserve anything less than the best I can give them.
Saturday on TNN Motorsports.
When summer heat starts to sizzle, NASCAR heads north to the New Hampshire International Speedway, where V6s and V8s battle side by side in Busch Grand National North Racing. The V8s have the power but go through tires quicker than their 6-cylinder counterparts. It's strength versus endurance. The Auto Palace Slick 50 150, 4 p.m., 3 Central.
And it's only on TNN Motorsports, where it's fast and furious.
We've just gone back to green. They've run half a lap. Dennis Setzer leading Michael Waltrip. David Green is third. Jason Keller, the pole sitter, fourth. Ahead of Ricky Craven, fifth. Kenny Wallace, Mark Martin, Derek Cope, and Jeff Purvis. Quick caution, all the cars involved in that accident able to continue.
You know, Mike, Dennis Setzer is driving a Banjo Matthews type race car. It's a front steer, but it has a banjo design. And there are those that think it is a little easier on tires than maybe some of the other chassis are. So be interesting to see how his tires hold up tonight.
We'll keep an eye on it. Here's Glenn Jarrett.
Well, Mike, the car of Tracy Leslie did sustain some damage to the right front, but he came in, the crew pulled it away from the tire, and he was okay. Tim Fedewa also had some damage to the left front. They did the same thing, pulled that away from the tire. He's okay. Now let's go down to Randy.
Well, pretty much a standard tire rule here this evening, folks. It's 2 right side sets of tires they get, 1 set of left side tires. And one update on Mark Martin said the car is running a little hot. They'll try and pull some tape off the grill. Look for that around lap 100. And they'll pick just a little bit earlier than that because of a caution.
Thanks, Randy. Pit stop for Patty Moise will put her 2 laps down.
You know, Mike, Mark drove Ernie's Busch car at Bristol. And Ernie, I'm sure you're watching the race. He must not like that car very much, Ernie, because he's not driving it tonight. He left it home this week. I think he's had to drive his own this week.
Chad Little, Mike McLaughlin, and Hermie Sadler go at it here. As you ride with Hermie Sadler, he gives a wave.
Tremendous
off into 1.
There's a tremendous amount of hand signaling going on. And when your car's not right, you just motion to them to go on, and when you adjust your car, then you'll race with them.
5th place, taken by Kenny Wallace.
And then a lot of guys will pace themselves here. They know they got to ration the tires, so they might pace themselves a little bit. And if the guys run a little harder than they want to on the clock, maybe they'll just wave them on, let them go. They're going to wear their tires out sooner.
You see, Kenny Wallace has moved all the way up into 5th place now. He's really got this race car running well. The 8 car just going out of the frame there. He's just in front of Ricky Craven and the Winn-Dixie car, Mark Martin.
Now, Kenny could easily win this race. That car has won here before with Bobby Hamilton. It's run well here before. If Kenny's old race car don't let him down, he can win this race tonight.
Here's another car that can, Mark Martin.
Yeah, we know he can.
Yeah.
We see him every week do it.
You know, you talk about Mark Martin running well every week, but he really does. He understands that race car, and he gets around the racetrack extremely smooth, and he does not abuse his tires. He's a perfect short-track race car driver.
I've told him, I said, Mark, if you could just make it look a little harder. I get tired of that in-car camera, got that arm up on the window, one hand on the steering wheel. I said, could you at least make it look like you're working hard?
6th, 7th, and 8th is what we're watching here. Mark Martin in the Winn-Dixie Ford, number 60. There's the number 2, the DuPont Chevy, Ricky Craven.
I think Hermie Sadler just had an ignition failure or something going by here. I saw fire fly out the tailpipe, and he slowed way down.
Let's find out from Randy.
Well, originally they thought that it had a plug wire off. Of course, that would be best hopes. What they wanted to do was ride around until a caution came out. But now we're getting notification that they want to change the ignition box if they can. That he doesn't need any help. He's going to try and nurse it around, but it's not too good for Hermie.
If it sounds like fireworks, that's Hermie Sadler's car.
Look at Joe Nemechek working the bottom side under Bobby Labonte there. And right behind them, Johnny Benson.
And they're coming up on some top 6 or 7 cars here.
And Johnny is another one of those new young drivers that has really improved over the last few months here. I watched him at Indianapolis Raceway Park. That was a heartbreaker. He's run some great races at Milwaukee, and he's doing good tonight.
A lot of folks feel that Benson in that Staff America 74 is on the verge of his first win.
I agree. He's running well and has the last several weeks.
Bobby Labonte's hanging tough on the outside of Nemechek. Remember these two battling for the Busch Championship just a couple of years back.
You know, Mike, he touched on something in our opening today, Darrell did. He was talking about the driver pool coming up through the Busch Grand National Circuit. This is where your future stars are going to come from. And Johnny Benson Jr. is the type of guy that'll go right in the Winston Cup and be a success there, too.
I think he could.
Yeah, and that's one good thing. I think one of the exciting things about the future for Busch Grand National Racing, they're going back to the heavier car. They're going back to the V8 engine, even though it'll be a 9-to-1. It's going to be more like a Winston Cup car. And that's what these guys need to get accustomed to. These 3,200-pound cars don't feel the same as a 3,500-pound car. I think it's going to make a big difference to these guys when they can feel a car every week like they're going to feel when they step up to Cup racing. So I think that's the right thing to do.
And that change takes effect for next season. 28 laps are complete here. Oh, Bobby Labonte in the wall. Bounces off and continues. He's okay. We'll be right back.
Hey, you know my crew spends hundreds of hours building those 5,000 horsepower motors. I can explode one in 5 seconds. And when that happens, nobody eats. That's why my guys won't run anything but Fram fillers. You know, Fram gets the nasty stuff out of the oil, so I can go to the other end with my candles lit. And you know, that's in about 5 seconds, nearly 300 miles an hour. You can look at these guys and see they eat pretty near every day.
At AutoZone, most of our customers are folks who like to work on their cars themselves. But the ones who come in most often are those who work on cars for a living. Guys like Ed Graven. Now, Ed's garage is in Ogden, Utah, where most of the time you'll find him pulling an engine or sliding under a car. And just about every day, he drives past a half dozen other parts stores on his way to AutoZone. Because Ed knows that when it comes to getting the right part for the right price, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
Category.
Music. Deep Purple, man. Classic.
Born.
Huh? Yeah, man.
First album.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Paradise by the Dashboard Light.
Ah, Meatloaf. Wonder what his friends call him. Me?
Mr. Loaf.
How about My Sharona?
Beechwood aged Budweiser.
Supertramp.
Crisp, clean, classic.
Frampton comes alive. Moment of silence, please. Fleetwood Mac. Yeah, all right.
Performance. Every element on the track is matched by one off the track. Off the track and into the high-performance heat pump systems of Luxair. Speed is matched by high efficiency, protection by strong warranty, handling by quiet operation, and power by year-round Luxair comfort. Winners in performance. Number one in comfort, Luxair. A reason for loving every season.
Just as we went to break, Bobby Labonte and Joe Nemechek got in it coming out of turn number 2. Maybe better look at what happened there.
When Nemechek comes off the corner and he thinks he's cleared him, and they'd make a little contact there and got Bobby Labonte into the wall. The lucky one was Johnny Benson there in third.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, that turn 2, how difficult it is, buddy. That's what happens to Nemechek. He's down there in the front end, starts pushing, and he jumps out into the side of Bobby Labonte, and Labonte's got a lot of damage on the right side of the car, even though he continues on.
So here's a look at the leaders at 35 laps. Dennis Setzer, Michael Waltrip running 1-2.
And there comes Mark Martin in third place, right in behind him there. That guy is such a methodical race car driver. He never looks like he's doing anything really that tremendous on the racetrack, but he's gaining on the leaders pretty fast now.
There's Mark in the picture. And let's take you back to 7th place. We're back toward the end of the top 10. Jason Keller, the pole sitter. Jeff Purvis makes the move. Here comes Earnhardt.
Yeah, Dale's been moving up through there, you know, just getting one every now and then. It's been a little tough going for him, but he's making his way up through there pretty well.
Well, that's what you said a while ago. Darrell says he's coming up through there, but he's earning every spot he gets. He's not really flying through the traffic. He's having to pick them off one at a time and really work at it.
Yeah, and I think he's using up a little bit more race car than these three guys out front here are.
Hermie Sadler made a 30-second pit stop. He is now 3 laps down.
You know, it's an interesting racetrack. You run, you start off, you always have a couple of crashes early. You have a couple of crashes late. But the middle of the race is all green flag racing, and we'll probably see some green flag pit stops tonight.
For an update on Bobby Labonte's car, here's Randy.
Well, as far as the damage suffered on Bobby Labonte's car, they're not quite sure. They checked for a tire rub. They don't see it rubbing. Bobby says he thinks he bent something underneath, a little bit in the chassis area, but he can't be for sure. They're going to wait until they catch a caution, come in and take a look at it, but he's going to stay out there and run around.
And former Busch Series champ Tommy Ellis, the Moen Fawcett Chevy, has the hood up on pit road.
Mike, you can see the right rear of Bobby Labonte's car. It's got a lot of damage there, and when it hits that hard, a lot of times it'll hit the panhard bar and move it over and make the back end of the car move over a little bit, and it makes it pretty tough to drive.
Yeah, I think the encouraging thing, though, is we've seen no smoke. Normally, if the rear end's moved, there'll be a little smoke from a tire rub up in the quarter panel. I haven't seen any smoke. So that may be a good sign.
Darrell, I think it knocked the fender past the tire.
Probably did. He hit it hard.
Let's go up to second place, which changes hands as you see it. Mark Martin rolls up into second. Michael Waltrip to third in the Pennzoil Pontiac.
Mark just let Michael and Dave.
Dennis.
Yeah.
Dennis.
I'll get right here in a minute. He let them wear their tires out a little bit more, and now he's going up there and he's going to take the lead.
Morgan Shepherd on pit road, the Cheerwine Ford, number 21. As you ride with Mark Martin.
You can see Mark go down in the corner. Michael pulls up on him just a little bit getting into the corner, but he's got Mark Martin is getting off the corner extremely well. You see Mike come up a little bit. Now watch him pull away as they come out on the straightaway. He almost looks like he's going to vanish.
Yeah. Well, Michael is using a lot more tire when he does that than Mark is. Mark's easing in the corner, not sliding the car around and accelerating off. Michael's driving in the corner as hard as it'll go, sliding around a little bit and using up more tires.
And so are these guys for 7th, 8th, and 9th. This is Derek Cope, Dale Earnhardt, Jeff Purvis.
Yeah, this guy in that black car there, his tires are white and he ain't hitting no wall.
So are the sides of some of those cars.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's a big sign he holds up inside the car. Excuse me. Oh, got a car spinning off turn 4 here. Sterling Marlin.
Well, he gets it going the right way, and everybody is down below him. Do we get a caution?
I don't think we're going to.
No caution.
No yellow. And nope, no yellow. He does go a lap down, however.
You can see Dennis Setzer and them go by as Sterling was right in his car there. He's a lap down now from that spin.
Yeah, see, that's the tough thing about doing a good job of spinning out. You don't get a yellow flag, and it costs him a lap.
And Mark Martin, with that, goes into the lead. As Setzer checked up just a bit, either to make sure he got by Marlin or perhaps thinking there might be a caution. I think more to make sure he got by Sterling, and a lot of traffic there.
Yeah.
Mike, what happened there is the spotter said, hey, Sterling Marlin's spinning all 4, and when you're going into 3, you really don't know what's going to happen when you come off that corner. So he may have checked up by being the leader. He just felt like he better take his time getting through there.
I was watching Sterling, and his car is just loose, and it just kind of got out from under him. He's not running all that bad. It just got out from under him.
Tracy Leslie on pit road. There's Kenny Wallace, who is the 4th place car.
Of course, sometime a guy will spin out like that, and he'll drive a whole lot harder trying to catch back up than he would if he hadn't spun out. And I think that's what Sterling's doing now. He's driving hard, trying to hang on.
Sometimes the hurrieder you go, the behinder you get.
Yeah, particularly on soft tires like we're running these days.
Look at Mark Martin. Now, that car is absolutely perfect up off the corner. It's got good drive from the center of the corner to the straightaway. That's where he makes all his time. He does not drive the car that hard into the corner.
Nope.
Yeah, that car has what TV folks call stink up the show potential.
Yeah.
And hopefully we won't see that tonight. Dennis Setzer's doing a good job of keeping him honest as we complete 50 laps here at Richmond Fairgrounds. We'll be right back.
Friday on Music City Tonight, Brenda Lee, Joel Sanye, newcomer Mac Rogers, Karima Henderson, Olympic champion Mark Spitz, plus Mate Max, our exciting game of love. Music City Tonight following the Autolite Platinum 250 here on TNN.
Sunday night, the Giants and the Cardinals come to play on TNT in the heat of the desert, where there's no escape, no surrender, no avoiding, buddy right. And that's why on Sunday night, we come to play TNT, the Giants and the Cardinals. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, Sunday night NFL on TNT. Listen to 98 Rock, pure rock and roll to win with the NFL on TNT.
Come to the Hunt Club restaurant out on Longboat Key. A delightful English atmosphere, the place where you should be. You'll find our dinners are delicious, a menu that's sure to please. There's entertainment and dancing nightly. That's the Hunt Club on Longboat Key. That's 5350 Gulf of Mexico Drive. Open from 4 p.m. daily.
Welcome back to Richmond, where Mark Martin leads Dennis Setzer, Michael Waltrip, Kenny Wallace, and David Green. Ray Bestis Brakes providing TNN with these helicopter shots of the jewel-like Richmond International Raceway. In the nighttime, Ray Bestis, Best in Brakes.
It's a great place to race at night. It's a well-lit, and it's a great racetrack for night racing.
Pit road's beginning to fill up a little bit with some cars that are getting out of the race. Morgan Shepherd's going behind the wall down there, and you see Rodney Combs in there with the hood up in the pit. So they're beginning to have a little problems here.
Mark Martin, like that car is on a string as he pulls up on the DeWalt Tools Chevy. Bobby Dotter and the Phenolube Chevy of Randy LaJoy. And not getting a lot of room from them as they battle for position.
Well, it looked like just a second ago that Dennis Setzer might have been closing in a little bit on Mark Martin. Darrell had an interesting comment to make.
Yeah, well, these guys all watch the race, you know, in the pit. They got monitors in the pit, and I'm sure he heard us saying that car had stink up the show potential. So Mark, he just backed it down a little bit and let them guys stay close because he don't want to get any bad comments from us.
Right, and the Tooth Fairy will
right,
be
Mark
your pillow tonight.
Mark, wave if you hear us.
He gets past Mike Stefanik in the Sunoco Ultra #1. And Morgan Shepherd's gone behind the wall. Here's Randy.
Well, what happened was he punctured a right front tire. When he did, he went a lap down. Then he got 2 laps down in the pits, and Morgan is not running for points. So absolutely, thought they may have done a little right front damage, and as opposed to just go out there and ride around, Morgan's going to park the car for this evening.
Yeah, you might as well pull it in, get you a cheer of wine, and watch the race.
Derek Cope in the Sports World Ford of Ron Zook, and there's the James Finch Chevy of Jeff Purvis as they battle the Country Time car. Napa, we keep America running. Here's how they're running at 58 laps. These cars are 6.5 seconds behind the leader. Now they're going to wear each other out in each other's cars. I mean, not each other, but
yeah. Well, you know, you got the high and the low there, and the high line is fast if the car will hook up there and not get loose or push off the corner. So, you know, Purvis could be saving his tires. Actually, he's running a little more conservative line than it is pinching it down low.
Mike, you see the dark spot where he's running way up high there. That looks real good up there, but he's within a half a car length of getting himself in trouble. If he gets up in the gray part of that racetrack, he'll lose control of that car because there's a lot of tire buildup and stuff up there that you'll really get in trouble if you get out of the groove.
Just like we saw off of turn 2 there. And you got to remember something about Purvis. He's driven a lot of dirt cars, so he likes it up on the cushion.
Yeah, that's where he's been.
He's up there.
Glenn? Let's check with Glenn Jarrett.
Right now, Jeff Purvis is the first car in the field in the running order that's on Hoosier tires. Also, Joe Nemechek and Robert Presley has moved up through the field, all running Hoosiers. They're running about 8th, 10th, and 11th right now. They told me these cooler nighttime temperatures would be good for them. Nemechek told me he was going to go to the front in a hurry. He hadn't made it yet, but I don't rule him out. Remember, he won here back in the spring on Hoosier tires.
Thanks, Glenn. Let's move to the battle for 12. Terry Labonte, the MW Windows Chevy. The Bayer Select Ford, number 23, that's Chad Little. And Johnny Benson embroiled in that one as they pull up on Sterling Marlin, who is a lap down. And Benson's going to get underneath Chad Little and box him out.
Talking about Chad Little, he's been the most consistent. That's him in the number 23 car there. He's been the most consistent Busch Grand National driver in the past 5 races of anyone. He's made more points, finished more laps, and run better than most anybody in Busch Grand National races.
9 top 10s in the last 10 races. He's come from 10th to 3rd in the points since we were at Dover in June.
Yeah, that's a real good race car. He's done a good job with it. Does the Mark Ripken, is he still on that car? The football coach or player, quarterback?
Yeah. Yeah, he's still involved in that.
Yeah.
Bobby Dotter.
Whoa, Earnhardt. Now that is driving. Did you see how far he went up under Dotter's car and made that turn and didn't turn him around? That's very heads-up driving. He's going by Randy LaJoie on the outside. We're talking about the 3 car of Dale Earnhardt.
You couldn't have put a piece of plywood between he and that DeWalt car. Inside Randy LaJoie. Looking at Earnhardt.
Randy's car seems to be just a little bit off. He's not getting off the corner quite as fast. You see Earnhardt pull away as they come off the corner there. I think the car might be just a little bit tight. Randy does not like a tight race car. He likes to run a race car right on the edge of being loose.
LaJoie has not had a top 10 finish since Hickory in April. Looking to turn things around, but the way he's sawing at that wheel, looks like the car's still not quite right for him.
And that was one of the fastest cars on the circuit earlier in the year.
Yes.
I mean, it could win every race.
I was talking with Earnhardt today. I went down, since we're showing him right now. Ernie Irvin called him from the hospital this week, talked to him, and he says, Earnhardt, I want you to know something. No matter what you hear, I am not retiring. I will be back to get hold of you.
Boy, that is good news, and it's a very speedy recovery thus far for Ernie Irvin, and I know he appreciates all of the good wishes that fans have sent along, and being included in folks' prayers is really a remarkable comeback to this stage, and we just hope it continues at this pace for Ernie and for Robert Gates and Larry McReynolds and all the folks in this garage area. I think we'll breathe a little easier when Ernie's back in a race car.
Yeah, well, you know, anytime you have one of your top running competitors get hurt, it puts a little fear in all of us, and so it's always good when a guy can pull through.
He was on the phone with some folks at the Speedway this afternoon here, and
oh, yeah, now that he can talk, he'll probably be calling a lot of people. Well, the tires ought to be getting, we ought to start seeing something with tires here before long, because we've gone about 70 laps, and that gets within a window of when tires start to really wear and give up. So tires should start to play a factor here in a little bit.
This race for 27th. Randy LaJoie and Michael Rich in the Bill Ellis barbecue car, number 02. We've completed 69 of 250 laps here at the Richmond Fairgrounds. There's your leader, Mark Martin. We'll be right back.
Monroe Sensatrack, road sensing shocks and struts. Designed to give you extra control during a swerve. Extra control over rough roads. Monroe Sensatrack gives you both extra control and ride comfort automatically. Monroe Sensatrack, like 2 shocks in 1. Call 1-800-STRUT now for a Monroe Sensatrack dealer near you.
I love my new hot rod. Those flames scare the other guys. 5,000 horsepower helps too. And a fat bankroll. You know, we've been running Autolite spark plugs forever, but I could wring more money out of someone else. Money's good. My crew burns it. So I tell the guys we're going to run a different plug. They say no. I say I'm the boss. They say Autolite keeps this monster lit. So I tell them I was just kidding.
The time has finally come for the cordless power roller from Wagner. Now you control the flow of paint, so the Wagner power roller can cut jobs in half. Smoothly and evenly, it can cover areas twice as fast. And cleanup is a snap, so you can finish one job and do another. Get your hands on a real value, because the value of Wagner keeps on rolling.
Every day, we all find a way. A promise made, a promise kept, giving it our best.
Only the best garages display the Napa Auto Care sign. You know they'll fix it right using Napa parts. No wonder Americans trust Napa Auto Care centers to keep their vehicles running.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
Tonight's exclusive coverage of the Autolite Platinum 250 on the Nashville Network is brought to you by Napa. We keep America running. Phil Parsons has made a pit stop, so has Stevie Reeves and Roy Payne in another time as Mark Martin continues to lead and puts a lap on the Stanley Tools Chevy of two-time Busch Series champ Larry Pearson. Sterling Marlin on pit road. Here's Glenn.
The car in, he's changing all 4 tires right now, getting fuel. The problem is that spin obviously must have flat-spotted the car, flat-spotted the tires, and he had to bring it in a lot earlier than he would have liked. They're having a little trouble on the left rear right now. In fact, they're having a lot of trouble. He's been in the pits a long, long time. He was already 1 lap down. He's going to be at least 2, maybe 3 laps down when he gets through. While we were away, Jeff Purvis also pitted. Now, as I said, he's running Hoosier tires. He had a big strip of rubber out of the right rear tire. We're going to try to find out what that was. Now let's go down to Randy.
Well, Jason Keller, pole sitter, is in. The hood is up on the Budget Gourmet automobile. Oil all over. I can see inside the engine compartment. It looks like it's coming out of a left valve cover. So Jason Keller's evening is not going to end the way he would like it to tonight.
Keller won his 3rd pole. So still looking for a top 5 finish, and he's still looking. Tough break.
Phil Parsons got those new tires on him, buddy. He's dicing and slicing up through the field there. He just went by. He went by Dennis Setzer like he was setting steel, and he's underneath somebody going into turn 1 there. I think that's Larry Pearson. Yep. And he's got Mark in his sight. So those new tires sure make a difference.
There's your leader, Mark Martin, as he goes into turn number 3. Phil Parsons will be the next car in view, the Luxier Chevy, number 99. And on fresh tires, he should run Martin down in just a matter of a couple of laps here.
Yeah, but Mark won't let that bother him very much. He'll just keep driving his regular pace there, and his spotter will say, listen, he's been there and got tires, don't pay any attention to him.
Look how smooth he is with the steering wheel. One big bite out of it, and then off the corner. Jimmy Spencer in 64.
Look at Ricky Craven get in that corner. Something's wrong with Spencer. He's off. He's coming in the pits now.
Time for a scheduled stop in the Dennis Shoemaker Chevy, the Duralube, number 64 for Spencer. 3 former modified champs in the field. Spencer, Mike Stefanik, Mike McLaughlin. Here's Randy.
Well, it's lap 81, so they've gone just about as long as we expected. Jimmy came in and said, I can't wait any longer. I want 4 tires. They're also going to jack 1 round of wedge out of his Duralube machine. They're already done with the right side. The crew goes around to the left and up pit road, Glenn Jarrett.
Well, I told you that Jeff Purvis had a problem on his car with the Hoosier tires. The right rear tire was blistered. You can see where the rubber just absolutely peeled away from it. They told me that his car was pushing. It was real tight. That means the back end sticks better than the front end does. Builds up heat on that tire, and it blistered the right rear tire. He's going to have an ongoing problem because they didn't get a chance to do much to it.
Well, and 2, we saw how Purvis was sliding that car around. And
yeah, he was looking for that high line, and his car was loose. And it's a little bit easier to control when you get up high like that, especially if you're having a problem.
You see Earnhardt fixing to move up on Kenny Wallace there. We got racing everywhere out here. They want to know just a second ago. Said, what's really happening out there? I said, just look at any 2 cars. They're racing around this whole racetrack. Everybody's hard at it. That's Johnny Benson and
Terry Labonte.
Terry Labonte coming off the corner there.
Right now what you've got is you've got about 30 guys or so wishing to be a caution. That's what you got. So they can come in and get those tires without making that green flag stop. Because on a track this size, it's hard to make a green flag stop and not lose a lap.
This battle is for 8th place. And Ricky Craven is part of it. 8th, 9th, and 10th here.
Let me go in, clarify that just a little bit. A mile or less racetrack, when you got to make a green flag pit stop, you're going to go a lap down to the guy that doesn't pit. And so you got to come back out, and you have got to drive hard to find that leader and get back around him in case that caution does fly. So nobody wants to pit first.
Well, Darrell, there's several things different in Busch Grand National. When they make a pit stop, they don't have anybody to break the left sides loose, I understand, on pit stop until they come around to the left side. They're not allowed to break the tires loose on the left side So when time they start off the racetrack, get back on the racetrack, they'll lose at least a lap and a half to 2.
Yeah, well, the good teams will lose, a little over a lap. Some of the others may lose, too. You're right.
87 laps are complete. Many of the leaders have not yet made an appearance on pit road. There's the list of them, and we'll be right back to Richmond.
Racing legend Richard Petty gave us an incredible challenge to try and start his toys.
All my toys.
All at once with a single diehard. So we hooked up all 9 engines, and the diehard started every one.
All at the same time.
But would it still have the power to start this big toy? Here's diehard. More power when you need it most.
Well, I'm sure glad Winn-Dixie discounts their makeup 30% every day. I saved 75 cents on this nail polish and $1.20 on this $4 lipstick. So don't hate me, because I'm cost-conscious. You don't even know me. Ever been down to your last pair of pantyhose and it's a week till payday? No, sir, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to your wife. Well, now Winn-Dixie discounts pantyhose 20% every day. I save 80 cents a pair, 40 cents a leg, 10 cents a toe. No, 8 cents a toe.
Every day, we all find a way. A promise made, a promise kept, giving it our best.
Only the best garages display the Napa Auto Care sign. You know they'll fix it right, using Napa parts. No wonder Americans trust Napa Auto Care centers to keep their vehicles running.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
At Stanley, we test the quality of our sliding mirror doors by opening and closing them over 100,000 times. This doesn't make for great entertainment, but it does make a great closet door. The Accent Mirror Door from Stanley.
Come on along and head for the mountains of Bushmere. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bushmere.
Mark Martin has stretched his lead out to 3.3 seconds. Welcome back to Richmond. I'm Mike Joy with Buddy Baker and Darrell Waltrip. 3.3 seconds over Dennis Setzer.
Yeah, and he's got that thing on cruise control, which we know he does. And I'll tell you, boy, Uncle Mike was almost in trouble. Earnhart there, and a bunch of them got together right behind him, and he survived. But sorry about that. It was my brother, and I thought I ought to say,
Well, Earnhardt's really working his way up through there. He's right on the back bumper of Michael Waltrip right now.
Got a car blowing going into the lead.
Big one, Stevie Reeves.
Got another, yeah.
Everybody's going to get by.
That's the good part of having good spotters up here to tell everybody there's a wreck down in front of you there. That's in a very blind spot of the racetrack when you're coming down the back straightaway.
But that's the caution everybody was looking for.
Everybody that hasn't stopped yet.
Yeah.
Asked Mark Martin about that. We were at dinner at Indianapolis, and he says, your spotter helps you with the wrecks you can't see. He says, what you really need some help with is the wreck you can see, the one that's right in front of you.
That's all instinct there. You just kind of react. You don't have time to think. You just kind of look at the situation and react to it.
Leaders on pit road at 96 laps. Let's go to Randy.
Well, the leader is in, Mark Martin. There was some discussion as to what they were going to do, whether they're going to take on 4 tires or 2 tires. They were going to take on 4. They were getting ready to pit in 2 laps, but now they're going right side tires only. Let's see, a round of wedge out of Mark Martin's car. He's down, and he's away. Two tires for Mark Martin. Glenn Jarrett?
Andy, Dennis Setzer did identically the same thing, but only right side tires on. He was further down pit road, and he beat Mark Martin out by a long shot, so he has retaken the lead. Of course, they fueled it up just right side tires. Both those cars appear to be getting very, very good tire wear. Right now, Kenny Wallace is also in the pit getting right side and left side tires. He was complaining of a problem with the right front tire. It looks like it's got some excessive wear on it. I'll check it and get back to you.
Dennis Setzer's stop was 12.1 seconds.
44 car was quick, too. He beat Mark out.
Yeah, he's in second place already. David Green come in running in fourth place, and he's in second now. That always helps when you got a pit crew that can do that for you.
Yeah, I think I'd have taken 4 tires in, though.
Oh, I don't know. Let's talk about that when we come back. We're under caution here, approaching halfway at Richmond.
You got the winning color.
When it comes to getting my oil change, it's basically a no-brainer. I mean, I always use Pennzoil. I've got 4 cars, and between them they have about 800,000 miles.
Now with the revolutionary Pennstar molecule, Pennzoil clings to moving parts, works like liquid ball bearings.
I've never worn out a car yet. I attributed a lot of it to the oil. If you don't keep something lubricated, it's not going to last. Pennzoil says it works like liquid ball bearings, and it really does.
There's a killer out there. Silent knock.
Today, you don't hear the knocks and pings that affect your car's performance. You just lose power.
So long, lost power. Hasta la vista, hesitation. Let's take this herd north.
Feel the power. 104 Plus Octane Boost.
I love my new hot rod. Those flames scare the other guys. 5,000 horsepower helps too. Had a fat bankroll. You know, we've been running Autolite spark plugs forever, but I could wring more money out of someone else. Money's good. My crew burns it. So I tell the guys we're going to run a different plug. They say no. I say I'm the boss. They say Autolite keeps this monster lit. So I tell them I was just kidding.
Exclusive coverage of the Autolite Platinum 250 on TNN Motorsports is brought to you by Allied Signals Autolite Spark Plugs. Guaranteed for 2 years, no matter how far you go. Well, the question is race strategy as Dennis Setzer came back in for another can of gas. Darrell, you said the thing to do was take on the 4 tires now.
Well, I think so. We've run 100 laps. You get tires under the caution so you can, you take 4 on under the caution, in my opinion, so you can get 2 under the green if you have to stop again under green. That'll make a lot quicker green flag pit stop. If not, now Mark's going to have to come in. I guess he could take on 2 left side tires with the 2 rights he just got later on, but I think he should have took 4 right then.
But I think if you get 2 now, then you've still got 4 to get with a late race caution to run for the win. Buddy, you settle this one between us.
Listen, I'm gonna get my dog out of this fight. I think we need to go down the pits and see what these guys think.
Yeah,
Glenn?
good idea.
Well, guys, I'm standing with Ricky Pearson right now, and Ricky, we're wondering, since you had to come back in for that other can of fuel, why didn't you go ahead and put the left side tires on the car?
Well, the lefts are no problems. Well, the rights are no problem for us right now. We've only run 100 laps, and that'd mean 150 on our left, so we're just going to save them and see what comes out.
Were you aware at the time that when they on the first stop that they only got 1 can of fuel in?
No. It was just miscommunication. That's all. It wasn't no problem. We'll be okay.
Well, it only took about 6 seconds of that other can to fill the car up, so they say they're okay. They've got the car that can go back to the front, but man, that's a lot of traffic out there.
Sure is, Glenn. Some of the drivers that made green flag pit stops and are now a lap or more down: Jeff Purvis, Phil Parsons, Robert Presley, Elton Sawyer, Joe Nemechek, Mike Stefanik, all pitted under green and lost a lap on account of it.
Yeah, there's only 12 cars on the lead lap.
Now they're trying to sort the lineup. Mike McLaughlin is on the tail end of the lead lap. David Green's trying to pull up alongside to see if they're in sufficient order to get the green this time. David Green is the race leader. He beat Mark Martin out of the pits. Mike McLaughlin is the last car on the lead lap.
Boy, David Green got a great start there. You see he's almost a full car length ahead of second place right now, going down in turn 1.
Chad Little started 23rd. He's now up to 4th.
I've loved one time in my racing career to have a race car like that 60 car. He was pulling away in the lead and everything to come in and make a chassis adjustment. I would have never touched that race car.
Look at Earnhardt way down on the bottom, 3 wide. And he gets into Chad Little. Oh, who gets into Jimmy Spencer. And here comes Derek Cope.
The good part of that, everybody continued on, and it looked like there's no real brake damage other than making a few tempers probably a little bit on edge.
Elton Sawyer's in trouble right here in front of us. He's got a flat tire.
And he's in the wall. Ford credit Ford.
He had a flat left rear tire, I believe.
And we get a caution.
And I know he wants to get out of the way.
Darrell, the right front of that car is really eat up pretty bad there. He got into the wall hard with the right front corner also.
Yeah, the car turned. It looked like he tried to accelerate off the corner there, and he just turned left with it. Or right, I'm sorry.
It is the third caution of the day.
Left.
And it comes out of lap 106.
A lot of damage.
Yeah. Well, the left rear tire was down on the car. When he tried to gas it up, it just turned right into the wall.
Watch Earnhardt here. He goes into the corner. Looked like Chad might have come down just a little bit. I'm not blaming either one of them. Somebody wasn't supposed to be there, though. Look at Jimmy Spencer.
Well, there was one more car in that bottom lane that needed to fit there.
Yep, that's what that yellow line's there for.
And here's what happened to Elton Sawyer. Watch right in the center of your screen.
Okay, you see the left rear go down right there. He gets bumped in the back there.
Yeah, you see the tire.
Now he's a passenger.
Yeah.
Oh, Jim Bound running in the back of him there. He's wrestling that thing pretty hard. Now it's going to turn out to the outside wall.
Right there he's asking himself, can you believe that happened?
Yeah, just 2 more payments.
That's right.
We're at lap 106. We'll take this break from Richmond International as Elton Sawyer makes it back around to pit road. See if they can get that car back in the race.
Friday on Music City Tonight, Brenda Lee, Joe Alsanier, newcomer Mac Rogers, Karima Henderson, Olympic champion Mark Spitz, plus Mate Mags, our exciting game of love. Music City Tonight following the Autolite Platinum 250 here on TNN.
I'm the Lone Arranger for the Used Car King. Good credit, bad credit, no...
Hi, I'm Gordy Taft. You know, doing the Lone Ranger is a lot of fun, just like buying at Used Car King. A large selection of clean, late-model cars and trucks, all safety inspected and warranted. Nice cars, nice people, nice prices.
Hi-ho, King, away! Stay tuned for the continuing episodes of the Lone Arranger, brought to you by the Used Car King.
Introducing a music store that gives you what other music stores don't. Power. The power to hear all of any CD in the store. The power to hear any CD as long as you want, as loud as you want. And the power to know what you're buying before you buy it. The new Blockbuster Music. The power to hear it all.
Stonewall Jackson, one of the great heroes of the Confederacy, the Civil War, memorialized here in Richmond, Virginia. Well, the showdown at sundown has become Fright Night for several competitors. But later, following our race, join Lorianne Crook and Charlie Chase with Music City Tonight immediately following our race telecast here at Richmond.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hurry back to the motel and watch it.
Okay.
Well, that is a good show. I love
my kind of people.
We're about to get back to racing 108 laps. And David Green leads them off the corner and to the green flag. Robert Presley trying to get back up on the lead lap. Or rather, he is 2 down according to scoring. 35.
I don't think Mark Martin wants him to get a lap back. He's right up side of him now, trying to get that position where he can go up there and try to get by David Green.
Michael Waltrip, Dale Earnhardt right there. Derek Cope and Kenny Wallace.
You know, Mike, after further stir, watching what happened in that wreck just a second ago, Earnhardt was all the way under the yellow line. He slid out and got hold of the car in front of him.
Yeah, he's running good. And he's being real. He really wants to get up there and lead this thing, I believe. He took on 4 tires, by the way. The other guys only took on 2, but Dale did. I think he did take on 4, so he should be a little bit quicker.
Well, he's under Mark. Comes right up across the nose of that Winn-Dixie Ford. Here's a look at Dale Earnhardt's race. Started 17th, and he's marched toward the front.
I don't know. Mark's car does not look like it's running quite as well as it was just a second ago, but Martin's car is one of those cars that comes on after 18, 20 laps into the event.
Yeah.
Then you can really tell whether he's good or bad.
Just taking on 2 tires sometime, buddy, will upset the balance just a little bit, and it'll take maybe a few laps for the tires to balance themselves up air pressure-wise.
Kenny Wallace, that red mark on the front of the 8 car there, that's a bulldog. That's about the ugliest thing I ever looked at in my life.
I thought, you know, the more I looked, first I thought it was a butterfly, and then I looked, I thought it was a bulldog. Why?
I don't know.
Okay. Michael Waltrip goes to the front as David Green slides back. This is the first Busch race Dale Earnhardt started here since 1991. One here on the old half-mile track in '86 in this series. As he tries to get past.
That's
Robert
2 race
Presley.
car drivers right there that drive pretty much the same, wide open all the time. As the old truck driver told me one time, wide open, half turned over.
Randy Porter was here attempting to qualify for this race in the 16, usually driven by Jeff Green, who was in another car. And hopefully tonight we'll get a chance to show you the drivers who did not qualify for this race, but it's a long list.
Yeah, they seem to be stabilizing now. You see Mark Martin starting to move back into contention here. He's starting to pick the pace up a little bit. He's now in 4th place, and he's working his way back up toward the front.
Well, it must be nice, buddy, to have a car that works so well. You don't have to worry about racing hard on a restart, at least not so hard. You have to get up and mix it up with those guys, because the way Mark's race has gone so far, after these restarts and they run 10 or 12 laps, things come to him.
You see Johnny Benson Jr. there. He's coming right up underneath the Mark, though, down the front straightaway. That's horsepower when you can do that.
Yeah, I think what you're finding right now, buddy, and Mike, is the guys are pacing themselves a little bit. They took on 2 tires, got a long way to go in this race. Don't want to use all the tires up right now.
Well, Darrell, the other thing is everybody made some adjustments. You know, everybody's kind of fine-tuned their cars now, and Mark will be working on that thing. Every time they stop, he'll be making corrections on the chassis. Kenny Wallace just went right on by Earnhardt and moving right on up. He's in 2nd place now.
Yeah, Uncle Mike, he's out there in that yellow Pennzoil car just kind of riding on off in the sunset by himself.
Why do you call him Uncle Mike? He's not your
That's what Jessica and Sarah call him.
Okay.
And the only way they know it, if they see a yellow car on the racetrack, they say, look, Dad, Uncle Mike. So I know they're watching, and so that's Uncle Mike.
Okay, Dad.
Right, girls?
Right, DW.
Oh,
So Michael Waltrip has the lead in 118 laps. Dale Earnhardt in 2nd. For Kenny Wallace, Dale Earnhardt, Johnny Benson, Mark Martin, and this man, the point leader, David Green. Now, after that restart, he's drifted back to 6th place. He has a 91-point lead coming into this race. David, is there more pressure on you now than earlier this year?
Well, not really pressure. You know, it's getting closer and closer, and I kind of relate back to the spring here at Richmond. You know, it's a lot of fun and really a lot more relaxed than it is now. So I wouldn't say pressure. I'd just say a little more nerve-wracking, maybe.
Got nerve-wracking a second ago for Chad Little. Took a long slide in turn 4 and then straightened up.
Yeah, got a pass for the lead here. Kenny Wallace just blew by Uncle Mike, and he's going on.
Earnhardt's being very patient there in 3rd place. I don't think there's a lot he can do about it, but he looks like Mike's car looks like it might be dropping off the pace just a little bit. He's not getting a forward bite off the corner that he was just earlier in the race.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if Kenny took 4 tires or not. I know Dale did, but I'm not sure if Kenny did or not. If Kenny only took 2, his car is awesome right now.
I think he got 4.
Yeah, he's running like he did.
You know, Uncle Mike is only 31 years old. You're talking about him like he's Uncle 50 or something. Yeah, it's confirmed Wallace did get 4 tires.
Well, that's what Darrell was talking about. Anytime you can get fresh rubber on a shorter track like this, that's the thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, what are we going to do now? What are this guy's going to do if there's not a caution bar? Look where Mark is, and look where poor old Dennis Setzer is. We haven't even seen or heard from him lately. He took 2 tires. Yeah. So, I tell you, I got to get my 4 tires when the opportunity comes.
You are right, and I was wrong.
We're halfway right now. We're halfway, and you're sitting over here with a whole lot of brand new tires you're not going to get to use.
You know, you're talking about Dennis Setzer, though. Coming in that second time and losing that track position, it's hard on this racetrack to get back up near the front.
Yep. Yeah, they had a 12-second pit stop, but it was because there was only 1 can of gas.
Right.
So he had to come back in. Terry Labonte in the number 14, battling.
Terry was he was really fast in practice. I clocked him, and I thought he had a shot at the pole, but then he had an engine problem, and he said the engine he put in just doesn't have the zip that the one he blew up. So he's just kind of said he was struggling a little bit for the race.
I think Glenn's been in his pit, Glenn.
Well, you know, one of the most interesting conversations I've heard tonight has come from Terry Labonte. He radioed in and told his crew chief, which is also his father Bob, he said, this thing is pushing like a pig. And his father Bob said, well, son, what does a pig push like? And Terry said, this race car, Daddy, this race car.
Race drivers, they go into a great deal of pains to express what's wrong with their race car and how it feels.
Well, if it's pushing, it's running pretty good for a pushing race car. He just went by Dave Green like he was stopped.
Yeah, he did, and that's kind of the way Terry is. Terry is another one of those kind of guys that he's out there, and you don't hear much out of him, but when this race is over with, I'm going to promise you, if he stays running all night, he'll be in the top 5. Terry Labonte is my kind of race car driver. He don't usually get very upset about anything. He doesn't tear up much equipment, but he drives just conservative and gets everything he can out of the car when it counts.
See Derek Cope getting by David Green right now. He's being very conservative. He is leading in the points, and that means a lot to these drivers. You know, I heard a driver say one time, winning the championship is probably one of the most important things you ever do in racing.
Yeah, it is. I agree with that.
Kenny Wallace, 5th in the points, trying to win the championship, but if the leaders don't have any trouble, he's kind of out of the points chase. What would it take, Kenny, for you to salvage a strong season here? Check that, trouble in turn 2. 1 car, Roy Payne.
Yeah, he's got a tire down there. You can see the sparks flying off the right rear point. That's the fuel cell dragging.
He is back most of that car into the wall and left it there. 130 laps. And we go to caution for the 4th time. Nobody else involved.
Well, Mike, you just won. You're going to come in and get your 4 tires now, and that's going to look pretty good.
It's not over yet. Well, we'll see what Mark Martin and the rest of the leaders do. Remember, he took on 2 tires last time and got himself drifted back to about 5th place.
What do you think? I say he takes 4 this time. What do you say?
That's pretty fair guess. I would think so.
Yep, I think he comes and gets the 4 now.
Yep. Roy Payne has gone to the garage.
As you speak, here comes Mark Martin in the pit.
And David Green. Yeah. And nobody else.
Well, that's the thing. I think if I'd have been Dennis, I'd have come and got my 4 tires. But
well, we're only at halfway.
Ricky Craven's coming in right now.
Here's Randy.
Not this time, guys. He's going to go ahead and take the 2 lefts this time. He came over the radio about 5 laps ago. He goes, guys, how many tires did those guys get? And they came away and said, Michael Waltrip got 4, Earnhardt got 4, and so did Kenny Wallace. He got 4. So, well, gee, why did you tell me? I thought we were supposed to be out running them. So he came in and got his left, so now he's still got 2 more to put on each side.
Yeah, but let me tell you, we'll go into this when we come back.
Another strategy discussion when we come back.
Miller Genuine Draft Rusty Wallace stock car. See it. Hear it. Feel it.
Monroe Sensatrack, road sensing shocks and struts. Designed to give you extra control during a swerve. Extra control over rough roads. Monroe Sensatrack gives you both extra control and ride comfort automatically. Monroe Sensatrack, like 2 shocks in 1. Call 1-800-STRUT now for a Monroe Sensatrack dealer near you.
One of these engines was filled with Castrol Syntec, a synthetic oil, the rest with conventional oils. They were then drained and started without oil to prove a point. You see, Syntec has a unique molecular structure that bonds to engine parts. Lab tests show it leaves a layer of protection far stronger than conventional oils. And if Syntec protects this well now, imagine if you leave it in. Castrol Syntec protects in ways other oils can't.
To get to the front of the line.
There is Benson blowing by like he was shot from guns.
It's not always who's the fastest, nor the strongest.
We've got problems in turn 3.
But then again,
Eddie is out of racing room. Benson behind. Tony Raines will win.
ASA Racing, speed is our middle name. The GM Teamwork 300 live, only on TNN Motorsports Sunday.
One more lap to green, so let's get you right to the Stanley Mid-Race Report. Stanley works in Britain, Connecticut for over 150 years, making tools, hardware to help improve the value of your home. 5 leaders, 8 lead changes, average speed just over 100 miles an hour. 4 cautions for 17 laps, and only 6 cars out of this race.
And only 12 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah. So, 2, 2, and 2. Now, there's an interesting strategy.
Looking out my back door. I don't know. Maybe that's why I haven't won one of these things for a while. I can't. Maybe that's why I quit doing this. It got too hard.
Yellow's back out. We're gonna race another lap here.
Well, they get pretty
caution. I mean,
they get pretty rambunctious under these when they get one to go. Everybody wants to get on the inside. I think they're supposed to be on the outside. Pretty confusing sometimes.
Well, now we're past halfway. 12 cars in the lead lap. Ricky Craven also pitted under this caution, pitted twice, and there's trouble for Michael Rich out of High Point. And he pulled out of his pit stall and just stopped, and Ricky Craven is back in again. Craven was in during the caution to adjust the air pressure on the right side tires.
Yeah.
And as Chip Warren, the official, hustling down as Craven is back in.
Boy, he came back in again.
And checking again, this time on the right rear and the right front.
And there's one to go, and I mean, he's got to hustle to get back
in.
Craven's car, they're adjusting the air pressure. The car's driving awful. They're having to adjust the air pressure, trying to improve it. Now, Kenny Wallace took 4 tires the last time. Some interesting strategy. Gil Martin, tell us why you did what you did.
Well, we took on 4 on the TIC Ford, hopefully that we'd give up track position right there earlier, that these other guys would come in later and put on left side, and hopefully the left sides won't help them because they've only abused their right.
Okay, he's hoping that gentleman will pay off for him.
And it shows you just don't play your own strategy. You got to play everybody else's, too.
Yeah, but I agree with Gil. I mean, that's the way I see it. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it turns out.
Well, this is something that's going to turn out pretty quick here. You see Earnhardt right behind Kenny Wallace coming off the corner. And Uncle Mike here, as you call him.
Yeah.
And he gets under Robert Presley to secure that 3rd spot. Larry Pearson, next car in line, is a lap down.
Looks like Kenny Wallace gets off the corner a little bit better than Earnhardt. Earnhardt drives in the corner. It's extremely hard to see Larry Pearson trying to get back up there where he can make up one of those laps that he lost.
And the 4th place car behind him is Johnny Benson.
And Mark and Dennis Setzer are back here. They're running side by side and not making a whole lot of forward progress.
In fact, they're all kind of stacked up behind Pearson and the 51 of Jeff Purvis.
Right now, there's 2 guys that are probably more nervous than anybody in the field. Mark Martin, because he's got the best car out there and he knows he can win. And David Green, because he's the points leader and he sees a lot of hard racing going on in front of him and he doesn't want to get involved in any crashes.
Whoa, Jeff Purvis almost got turned around there. Larry Pearson got in the left rear. 3 off that corner is a little interesting, too.
Joe, why did you get in there? Or rather, Robert. Well, He tried to open the door there for Johnny Benson, and now Benson will go to the bottom. Terry Labonte looking up high will lose a spot to the 82 of Derek Cope. Yeah, it looks like the bottom's going to be the way by those two. Well, no, Purvis gets a good run up off the corner.
Whoa. Darrell, you remember that for tomorrow night now. You've seen the 74 car come off, go all the way down to the bottom part of the front straightaway and make that pass down the front straightaway.
I know, but I didn't have my eyes open right now. Tell me when to get strung out, but I can't take this kind of three-wide racing here myself.
Martin gets awfully close on the 31 car of Steve Grissom. Loose champ. Napa, we keep America running. Shows you how they're running there in the upper left of your screen. All these cars are on the lead lap back to Ricky Craven in 12th. These cars one lap down.
I tell you, there's about 20 cars right there that are just, I mean, swapping paint every corner.
From Mark Martin, you look back at two of them, Steve Grissom and Mike McLaughlin in the fiddle panel shaded.
Now, Mark's working his way through that crowd pretty good, and Dennis Sessler, they were side by side a few laps ago, and Dennis can't seem to make that kind of forward progress through that traffic like Mark did.
You know, Darrell, that's one thing that you have to have on the short track. You have to be able to sit there and wait for that opening to get through there. You cannot force your way through on the short track, because if you touch somebody 9 out of 10 times, you'll hurt the car, and it'll hurt you later on in the race.
Well, and we got to remember, some guys got 2 fresh tires and old left, and some guys got 4 brand new tires, and so there's a real mixed bag of tires out there that really changes the way the car handles.
Now, this is the strangest night of tire strategy we've seen in a long time.
Oh, yeah, but we made it that way. Nobody at home knows what's going on. What are they talking about anyway, honey?
Mark Martin's car seems to be running quite well now. He's made his way through this pack of cars that we're looking back at here, and the car is really working well on the bottom of the racetrack.
Yep. But he's got his work cut out for him. He's straight away behind these guys that took 4 tires earlier. Well, let's see how it goes.
The reason we're showing all this hard racing back in the pack is Kenny Wallace has opened up about an 8-car length lead over second place Dale Earnhardt.
Elton Sawyer takes his car behind the wall. 103 laps to go. We'll be right back to Richmond.
No matter where I park, it draws a crowd. It's a 55! It's a 55! 55. 55. This is one of the last real classics of our time. What do you think of the bumper, huh? Everything's original. And I take care of it myself right down to the oil and the Purolator filter. Pure oil now! It's a 55! So when someone asks me how I've kept up the engine, I just show them the Purolator. Purolator! I don't think it all fit. Legends live. 55! Purolator, Purolator.
Fuel. It's got to be the best, especially when you fire up. It's got to provide efficient turnover. It's got to be lean and have some rare qualities. A WD brand steak from Winn-Dixie. It'll definitely get your motor racing. Oh, the car? It takes high test.
I bought my car new in 1970. I drove a hockey team a 190-mile round trip 3 times a week.
Haviland Formula 3 from Texaco.
And when I reached 300,000, I thought, I've got to be a pretty good car.
No other leading motor oil offers more complete protection to help your car run better, last longer.
At 600,000, I thought, maybe it could be the Haviland.
Haviland Formula 3. Add more life to your car. Get a free Haviland racing cap of your choice when you buy a case of Haviland.
Please be advised, you may need a bigger TV to hold all this food. Introducing the new Mega Meal from KFC, the biggest meal deal America has ever seen. A whole Colonel's Rotisserie Gold, or 8 pieces of original recipe chicken. Potato wedges, Kentucky nuggets, mashed potatoes and gravy, coleslaw, biscuits, even a whole apple pie. All this for just $14.99. You couldn't even get 2 large pizzas for that. No wonder we call it the Mega Meal.
A lot of food, not a lot of money. You can't beat that.
Welcome back to Richmond. Ray Vestas Brakes providing TNN with these shots from our aerial platform as the man in the moon looks on at the action below. And he sees the bejeweled Richmond Fairgrounds Raceway standing out in the night sky. NASCAR's best Busch drivers going at it. Kenny Wallace leads this race over Dale Earnhardt, Michael Waltrip, Johnny Benson in 4th. What a string of top 5s he's had. Mark Martin. Steve Grissom's in 6th. This is only Grissom's 8th start of the year. And he best finish is 18th. So good luck for Grissom tonight. But you saw Kenny Wallace's progress through this race tonight. Terry Labonte is 7th. Derek Cope is 8th. David Green, the point leader, 9th. Chad Little is 10th. Dennis Setzer is 11th. And Ricky Craven, 12th. They are on the lead lap. This is the battle for 8th. Between Derek Cope and David Green. And Jim Bound is 1 lap down in the Flux Foods number 63.
I have to say that David Green's car is not quite as fast as it was at the first part of the race. He's getting passed over by some cars that he drove away from earlier in the race.
Yeah, I tell you, when you're the point leader and it's getting this late in the year, you start thinking more about points than you do about outrunning somebody.
Now there's Ricky Craven. He's also caught in a lot of traffic. Hermie Sadler is 4 laps down, spent a lot of time in the pits.
Ooh, Hermie Sadler got tapped a little bit by Tracy Leslie there coming off turn 1.
Yeah, Leslie is 5 laps down after that early incident in turn 2.
I believe Jeff Purvis' right rear tire got that big streak out of him again, like Glenn was talking about earlier, because he's done everything but crash that car. He's all over the place.
You're riding with Randy LaJoie.
You talk about loose. Now, that was a wreck that just didn't hit anything. Did you see how far that car got out of shape?
Well, look who he's racing against. Jeff Purvis. These two guys have been just flat sideways.
Yeah, Randy LaJoie's car absolutely turned completely sideways coming out of that corner. And I mean, anybody else but Randy LaJoie would have probably wrecked that race car. He has tremendous car control. Plus, he's trying to pass on the inside, and when you pick up the throttle and have to pinch the car coming off the corner, it'll further back out a lot of times.
I'll show you that one again. This is what it looked like from outside the car.
Well, they look pretty bad inside. I know it had to feel. Well, look at how far the back end's out. Now, he's still in the throttle. You see the forward progress of the rear wheels there. That saved the car. He kept power on it like that, and he drove through that slide.
Mark Martin and Johnny Benson.
Darrell, if he'd have checked up on the throttle right then, it'd have turned right around on him.
If you notice, looking at his hands in the car, his hands were, at one time, both hands were off the wheels. You almost have to do that because when the car straightens itself up, you got to have that steering wheel where it'll come back to center on it. If you try to do it with your hands, you can't do it quick enough.
Old Chinese Recipe by Darrell Waltrip.
That's right. Let the car do some of the work.
Yeah, stir in about 5 degrees of caster and let the car do the work.
That's
coming
right.
Back on center.
Let it come back to center.
Now you see Benson falling back into the clutches of Derek Cope. Excuse me, that's Bobby Labonte. Labonte is not on the lead lap.
No, he's not.
He has a win this year.
Yeah, he borrowed Terry's car and won Michigan. I thought that was kind of nice. That's brotherly love.
Yes. 10th place battle here. Chad Little in 11th. Ricky Craven in 10th.
Yeah, the 23 car there of Chad Little, he's really having to struggle with that race car. He cannot keep it on the bottom of the racetrack. And when you're out there and you can't pick up the throttle, people start passing on the inside. It looks like he's going to starve to death before you ever get back on the bottom of the racetrack. Plus, you take a chance of getting shuffled back into that wall just like he almost did then.
Now to turn 4. Next car back is Hermie Sadler and then Dennis Setzer, who has not been able to advance through this field.
No.
Kenny Wallace at the front of the field, and once again, let's ask him how you can salvage this season. What kind of finishes do you need to feel like it's been a success for you?
Well, another win. You know, if we can have us another win, I think that'll help out. You know, we've got a great team here. We've had too many motor problems throughout the year, but hey, it's been a good season.
You know, working at AutoZone is more than just looking up parts or ringing up sales. Most of all is listening. Because my customers know more about their cars than I'll ever know. They know every rattle by heart. I mean, that car is their baby. So when they got a problem they're going to fix themselves, I'm going to do my best to help them get whatever they need, no matter what it takes. Because people like that, they don't deserve anything less than the best I can give them.
Monroe Sensatrack, road sensing shocks and struts. Designed to give you extra control during a swerve. Extra control over rough roads. Monroe Sensatrack gives you both extra control and ride comfort automatically. Monroe Sensatrack, like 2 shocks in 1. Call 1-800-STRUT now for a Monroe Sensatrack dealer near you.
Racing legend Richard Petty gave us an incredible challenge to try and start his toys.
All my toys.
All at once with a single diehard. So we hooked up all 9 engines, and the diehard started every one.
All at the same time.
But would it still have the power to start this big toy? Here's diehard. More power when you need it most.
Just a reminder, a well-maintained car can help you avoid crack-ups. 4 out of 5 cars need maintenance. Is yours one of them?
Highway transportation provided by Cedar Ridge RV Center, Branchville, New Jersey, featuring Winnebago Motorhomes. Call 1-800-988-4884 to find out why Cedar Ridge is the choice of champions. 170 laps complete as you watch Kenny Wallace lead this race. 79 to go as he comes up on Tim Fedewa, whose car was damaged in that incident earlier. And Dennis Setzer is only about 2 seconds from going a lap down. Make that a 1.5 seconds.
It's nice to see one of our commentators leading a race like Kenny Wallace is doing right now. He not only does he do a great job up in the booth, he does a great job out there on the racetrack, and it's good to see him run this well.
Yeah, that car's run well all year long, and like Kenny said in a little clip there a while ago, if it hadn't broke motors this year, he'd probably won 7 or 8 races. I know races I've done, he's been leading 2 or 3 of them.
Let's check with Glenn on the 59 car of Dennis Setzer.
Well, Mike, Ricky Pearson told me when they changed only those right side tires that the tires didn't match up quite as well as the first set. The car has picked up a little push. They just simply haven't had a chance or didn't take the chance to come back in and change those left side tires. Now, just like Darrell says, I think it's coming back to haunt them a little bit. We're going to go down here and check on Jeff Purvis's car. He has pulled it behind the wall with no brakes, and now it's caught on fire.
There's no question in the 59 case that he should have took the tires when he had to come back in and get the gas. Now, maybe not normal, but to get the gas.
Mike, that's a battle for 5th and 6th right there. You see Kerry Labonte going by Johnny Benson on the bottom there. Tremendous drive from the center to corner of the straightaway for the 14 car.
You got to love Labonte. You don't even look at that car the first half of the race. You say, okay, it's halfway. Where's Terry, and how fast is he coming? Because you know he's coming.
Yeah, well, the car itself, it makes the statement. It's a white car, very plain, with nice red numbers on it. M&W on the hood. Very conservative approach, and that's the way he drives it. None of those flashy paint jobs for Terry Labonte.
Oh, boy.
His Sunday car is pretty flashy.
I'd expect him to say, that thing's got more colors on it than used to.
Yeah, but he didn't pick it. He didn't pick the paint.
Now Stevie Reeves back in the race smoking a bit as Labonte goes by. He may not be back in the race for too long.
Boys, I'm going to tell you, Kenny Wallace has checked out on everybody.
Yep.
I had to look around and see where he was. He got so far away from the rest of them.
He is a full straightaway ahead of Dale Earnhardt right now.
And Mark is catching Dale and Uncle Mike here pretty quickly, so I think Mark will be somebody you have to deal with before the race is over with.
And Kenny Wallace's lead stands at 4 seconds.
And I think Mark still has 2 tires.
2 to get, 2 rights.
2 rights. Kenny has...
does he have a set of rights? I know he put 4 on.
He put 4 on one time, so he's got a set of rights. Okay. So it could be a shootout between Mark and Kenny.
Tommy Houston, first car out of the race, to update you folks. He qualified Bill Elliott's car for tomorrow night's Winston Cup event. Elliott had a sty in his eye and has spent the day, we're told, under doctor's care. And so Tommy Houston qualified that car tonight. Here's what I mean. Well, where's halfway? 125 laps. So Labonte started 31st, just kind of marched his way to the front slowly. Okay, here I come, and all of a sudden, boom, he's in the race.
Yeah, he is. And he's running very well. I mean, he's not there by attrition or anything else. He's there by he's running well. He's in striking distance.
And, you know, in the first 100 laps of that race, Darrell, he didn't pass it hardly anybody. The car kind of rode, like either the car wasn't just right or perhaps Terry didn't want to push it at that point. Yeah. But he has certainly come to be a factor. He's in 5th place as this man, Kenny Wallace, tries to run away from Dale Earnhardt, Mark Martin, Mike Waltrip, and Terry Labonte. 182 laps complete. We'll be right back.
The most explosive 30 minutes on television. NHRA Today, Saturdays and Sundays only on TNN Motorsports.
More and more people are making the smart move to Perkins, Chrysler, Plymouth, Jeep, Eagle. Here's what they're saying.
We buy our cars from Perkins because they're so easy to do business with and their service is excellent. Over the years, they've earned our trust.
As a home builder, I purchased a Grand Cherokee from Perkins because I knew I needed a dependable vehicle. I also knew I would receive exceptional value and quality service.
Why don't you make the smart move to Perkins, Chrysler, Plymouth, Jeep, Eagle in Bradenton?
With a fiery horse and a hearty hi-ho king, it's the Lone Ranger.
You know, you won't get horsed around when you buy a car at Used Car King. Late model cars and trucks, all safety inspected and warranted, with bank and GMAC financing available. Used Car King's been around a long time, just like King and me, right, King?
Hi-ho, King, away! Stay tuned for the continuing episodes of the Lone Ranger, brought to you by the Used Car King.
For information on Featherlight trailers, call 1-800-800-1230. Featherlight, the official trailer of NASCAR. Phil Parsons and Randy LaJoie on pit road as Kenny Wallace enjoys a 5.5-second lead. We'll pan back and show you the battle that's heating up for second place. Here it is.
Wow, that's a power move there. Mark Martin is passing Dale Earnhardt on the outside going in the corner. Now, that is tough to do. They're dead even now. They drive down in the corner here. One thing you don't do, you don't beat Earnhardt getting in the corner. If you beat him, you'll beat him from the center corner out.
Mark completes the pass. Well,
no.
Excuse me.
That's what I'm telling you. Earnhardt has put many gray hairs in these race car drivers' head by running them in the corner like that. He'll make you think you're going right on by, and then he'll drive up and maybe get right up in that door where you can see that front end.
Wave and a wave back.
We just had a report that Mike Waltrip has lost a cylinder in the 30 car. That's too bad. He was running super well.
Let's check with Randy.
Yeah, that's indeed what it is. I checked with the crew. They're not quite sure, but Mike said, guys, it blew up about 40 laps ago. It's just gotten worse, so possibly a valve or something, but he felt the engine just giving up a little bit, and he's just going to have to ride it out from here on in. Tough break. He had a good run going.
Got the 59 coming down pit road right now, and, you know, these cars with the tire situation the way it is, when the tires get worn, they still won't, they'll run pretty good on 5 cylinders. As long as they don't get real terminal.
Right, and Mike Waltrip is in 4th place. Let's go to Glenn Jarrett and Dennis Setzer's pit.
Well, Mike, he waited as long as he could, but he lost a lap on the racetrack. They had to change tires. They're going to the right side right now, and I'll bet you that they're going to get 2 cans of fuel in that thing this time. Even though he won't need it all, they're going to put it both in there. Really kind of a little bit of a slow pit stop for these guys. They're normally very fast, but they will change all 4 tires. He's going to at least lose 1 more, possibly 2 more laps, unless something drastic happens that's going to put him out of contention. That's too bad because he had an awfully fast race car.
Yes, it is. Setzer came in here 7th in the overall points and leading for Rookie of the Year, 30.5 seconds. And Johnny Benson may eat a little further into Setzer's rookie point lead. Benson right now is in 7th place.
I think Robert Presley's bringing his car on pit lane, too.
Stop for Presley, who was 1 lap down. Now goes 2. Now Setzer will be a rocket on those 4 fresh tires.
I was just watching. He didn't come up to speed like he should have down the back straightaway there. It'll take about a lap for him to really feel comfortable on this tire, and then he'll start flying.
Yeah, what it is, they drop the air just as low as they possibly think they can get away with. So as the tires heat up and the air builds up in the tire will come up to an operating temperature that's real comfortable for the driver, but it takes a couple laps to do it.
Gerald, they're not allowed to run a bleeder valve on these tires?
No, they're not. No, NASCAR doesn't allow that. Other series does, but not in any of the NASCAR, not Cup or Busch.
Okay, from Kenny Wallace, let's look back to 2nd place. Here's Mark Martin. In 2nd with 56 laps to go. 5.4 seconds back.
Mike, you can see that Earnhardt's not even in the picture here. He's dropped back some 20 car lengths behind Mark now.
But Mark has made no progress on catching Kenny. Kenny is long gone. He's like that big eight-wheeler there, rolling down the track.
Now looking for 4th place Terry Labonte. There he is. He's gone past Michael Waltrip, who, despite having only 5 cylinders, is still the 5th place car.
Mike Waltrip's car really sounds terrible, though. He just come by. It sounds like a tractor going by.
Yeah, he's getting slower and slower. That thing will give up the ghost here for long.
Well, hopefully not before 53 more laps are done.
Well, it could make it. It depends on what kind of problem it is. But it's getting, like Buddy said, I'm starting to hear it too. When you start hearing it up here, it's getting worse.
Defending Busch champ Steve Grissom, who will probably post his season's best finish today. In the limited schedule he's run, he's the 6th place car.
There's another real consistent race car driver. Guy that's out there all the time, and you don't call his name much, but he does a good job of bringing the equipment home.
7th is Johnny Benson, looking to be the highest finishing rookie of this race and close further on Dennis Setzer's rookie point lead. Benson is the 7th place car, and the point leader, David Green, in the Slim Jim Chevy, is 8th in this race. Last car on the lead lap. Craven has been lapped, and so has Derek Cope. Along with Jim Bound, Larry Pearson, Chad Little, Bobby Dotter, Bobby Labonte, and Mike McLaughlin. 2 laps down.
Chad Little on pit road.
There's Craven, who is a lap down with Derek Cope, Jim Bound, and Larry Pearson.
I never saw that before.
Yeah, we got a streak of fire down
that
here.
That 72 car took off down pit lane, and a streak of fire followed him out of the pit.
Glenn?
Mike Chad Little brings it in for a 4-tire stop also. He was also one of those cars that had not changed left side tires. They're doing so now. There's only 50, so about 60 laps, 70 laps left to go in the race. They're going to try to use those laps with these 4 fresh tires to gain back as many spots as they can. Dennis Setzer's car is like a rocket ship, as will Chad Little's be when he gets back out there on that fresh rubber.
Thanks, Glenn. 25.6 second stop for Chad Little. Here is Derek Cope, making a final pit stop for right side tires. And Mike Stepanek is in as well. 14-second stop.
You see right here, David Green fixing to go a lap down to the leader. He was the last car on the lead lap in 8th place, and you see, I mean, the Wallace car is really hooked up. The 8 car there is just perfect. It's driving right around the racetrack. It's never slipping. It's getting tremendous forward bite, and he's just moving away.
However, Mark Martin has closed down Kenny's lead down to 4 seconds.
He has. He's closed a little bit. I don't know if it's because of traffic or what, but I've been watching the interval by eye, and he definitely got closer. But Mark's working hard right now. He's really driving pretty hard to try to catch Kenny.
Well, Well, he has 46 laps to do it. Nice packed house Friday night crowd here at Richmond Fairgrounds Raceway. Here's the way they're running. We'll be right back.
Have you ever seen anything more amazing than Little Caesar's Italian sausage pizzas?
If I be going to Broadway, remember me to Herald Square. Tell the gang at 42nd Street that I will soon be there.
No. Italian sausage pizza, loaded with sausage, green peppers, and onions. The newest from the whole menu of Little Caesar's Pleasers. Any two for $9.98, product guarantee.
Pizza.
Or one for $5.99.
Pizza.
Racing legend Richard Petty gave us an incredible challenge to try and start his toys.
All my toys.
All at once with a
that hood down. We're under the fifth caution of the day here. Just as we went to break, Derek Cope went for a twirl down the front straightaway. He had just gotten tires on a green flag stop. Here's what happened.
Sensor's got a problem.
Derek Cope, center your screen.
Oh, he had a little nudge. The 35 car nudged him just
Here's the dangerous part. He comes back up the racetrack here in front of traffic now. If somebody would have went low to try to get by him, that would have been bad.
And that's why the caution was out.
Yeah, he might have had a little help there.
Yeah, he got a little friendly tap.
Now, making pit stops for right side tires were Kenny Wallace, Mark Martin, Dale Earnhardt, Michael Waltrip, Johnny Benson, and Terry Labonte. Benson was nabbed by the speeding police down pit road. There's his car coming in. He will start at the tail end of the longest line. When we go back to green, there you see Kenny Wallace beating Mark Martin out. Just that close. It's like, I'm out here in the lane.
That's right. Well,
on the lead lap, we have 8 cars.
We still got a long ways to go here. We got 62 laps, or 61 laps.
Whoa, man. Mark got in the side of Jim Bound just a little bit there. I hope he didn't hurt his car.
Where is Jim Bound going?
Jim Bound
is on the tail end of the lead lap. That's why he wants to be up there. On Sunday, the ASA GM Teamwork 300. That's from Michigan International Speedway, live on TNN at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday here at TNN Motorsports. So Jim Bound is the tail end of the lead lap car. He is 8th.
And he could catch a caution because there's cars that don't have tires on right now, and they're all bunched up here, and this is a dangerous time.
I was just fixing to say, when they drop that green flag and you're double file, three wide going down the front straightaway, anything can happen, so you try to make your laps back.
Hold your breath. Now they're off turn 2 cleanly. Dennis Setzer has come in for a pit stop.
find out who's got what now. The two best race cars in the field right now are out front and going away.
And look at Jim Bound is backpedaling.
Yeah, I don't think Jim had the tires that these other guys have right now, and he's just dropping right back through the field.
Which is why he was up there on the tail end of the lead lap. Ricky Craven looking to the outside of Derek Cope, and now to the outside of Jim Bound.
Oh, and Jim's got a real problem now.
Trouble in the wall goes Bound and Craven. No, they don't hit the wall.
Oh, golly, they hit.
Oh.
Man, that's too bad. Ricky Craven got right in the side of
I can't believe that happened.
Can't either.
Oh. Look,
neither can Hermie Sadler.
Hermie Sadler's car is really torn up.
Jim had something wrong. I think he had a tire down because I saw sparks going in turn 3 there. And he took the 2 car to the wall, and then they got loose.
Left front is flat on Jim Bound's car. I don't know whether that happened during the wreck or what.
But then Craven had him missed, got right back into the throttle, and there's Jim right in front of him.
And turned right back in front of him again. And then here come Hermie with nowhere to go.
There's Bound's car. The left front's not even turning. It's locked up. Well,
You'll see
what happens.
You'll see sparks come out from underneath. See the
Right
sparks?
there.
Yep. Left
front's
down.
Looks like he and Derek Cope got into each other just a little bit, and they blew the left front tire. Now, Ricky Craven's on the outside here. Look how close he comes to going into the wall on the outside. He turns down to get away from Bound, and Bound comes back down the racetrack.
Right into him. Bam.
Boom.
And
here comes Hermie.
Look at Hermie.
Boom.
That's
Welcome
almost a head-on shot there.
Ricky Craven's spotter was hollering at one point, good job, good job. And then next thing you know, disaster.
And there wasn't much Jim Bound could have done to avoid any of that contact.
No.
We're under caution. And we'll be right back.
This is the perfect time to try my new Polaroid Captiva. Smile!
Hey, where's the picture?
There's no picture?
Did you see the picture come out? How can that be a Polaroid camera if there's no picture?
It doesn't look like a Polaroid camera.
It's not a Polaroid camera.
Presenting the Polaroid Captiva. It's sleek, it's stylish. Its pocket-sized pictures stay in a special compartment till you take them out, so you're free to shoot and shoot.
Maybe if you shake it.
Yeah, shake the camera.
The Polaroid Captiva. The pictures stay in till you take them out.
After midnight, we're gonna let it all hang out.
Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft.
After midnight, we're gonna turn up and shake.
The cold one. For those who've discovered its smooth draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
We're gonna talk into
So get out of the old and get into the cold.
The time has finally come for the cordless power roller from Wagner. Now you control the flow of paint, so the Wagner power roller can cut jobs in half. Smoothly and evenly, it can cover areas twice as fast, and cleanup is a snap, so you can finish one job and do another. Get your hands on a real value, because the value of Wagner keeps on rolling.
At AutoZone, most of our customers are folks who like to work on their cars themselves. But the ones who come in most often are those who work on cars for a living. Guys like Ed Graven. Now, Ed's garage is in Ogden, Utah, where most of the time you'll find him pulling an engine or sliding under a car. And just about every day, he drives past a half dozen other parts stores on his way to AutoZone. Because Ed knows that when it comes to getting the right part for the right price, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
Saturday on TNN Outdoors. At 11 Eastern, it's Fishing with Orlando Wilson, followed by Mr. Largemouth himself, Roland Martin. Then on In Fisherman, Al Linder offers up the best in angling advice. At 12:30, Ron Shearer explores the great American outdoors, followed by the master caster, Bill Dance. Then at 1:30, join in the hunt on Bill Jordan's Realtree Outdoors. It's all Saturday on TNN Outdoors.
Well, we're back at Richmond. Ricky Craven has made a couple of pit stops to repair heavy damage to the front end of the DuPont Chevy that came in here 91 points behind. point leader, David Green. See, they peeled off all of the front sheet metal, but there was some steam rising from the radiator there.
I cannot understand how that car is even running. That's the radiator laying flat down in that race car there. See him pulling on it?
Glenn's right there. Glenn?
Well, Mike Craven has brought the DuPont, I think it's still a Chevrolet, back in. They're going to have to change the radiator this time. Like Buddy said, it's laying right against the engine. It is leaking quite a bit of water. In fact, this whole pit spacer is covered with water, so they're definitely going to lose a few more laps now. I don't really see how the front end is staying on the car. When they took the hood off, I thought the fender was going to fall off with it because it's just hanging on by a thread. But really a tough break. Chad Little could very well move by him tonight. Chad was only about 21 points behind him in third place, but hey, they've got it fired. He's going again with that old radiator. They didn't change it, so I don't know. I don't see a whole lot more water here, but there couldn't have been a whole lot left in it.
Don't know how long it'll run like that, but he's trying to keep from losing more laps.
Yeah, that's what it is. Every time it's, he tries to get it back out before the pace car, but maybe they're just riding around letting all the water out of it.
Well, let's show you what happened. It got Ricky Craven in this situation. From Ricky's car. Now, let's see if there was contact. Watch the white car there of Derek Cope and Jim Bound, the yellow car.
See, but I guess he just had it. I'm going to take that back. Derek Cope did not hit him. He had the left front go flat going in the corner.
Yeah, I think it just happened simultaneously.
And you heard Craven get back in the throttle right here, and then, uh-oh.
Yeah, he wishes he hadn't have done that. That's just one of those things. There's no way to anticipate. He didn't know the guy had a left front tire down, and the car just turned.
What Ricky did up at the top side was he did what Bobby Allison used to say to do. Go where they are, because they won't be there when you get there.
Yeah, exactly. That tire was down before Cope ever got there.
Yeah,
you see the front of the car real low as it comes up to him.
You know, Mike, you ask a lot of times, why did Craven go like he did and run back into the 63 when he's up against the top of the racetrack? A lot of times when you're in a wreck like that, you look across the racetrack instead of at the car that's up against the wall. And when you take off, you nail the throttle, and all of a sudden the car comes out, and there you are.
And that spot was clear when Ricky made his move, and it certainly closed up on it. So this will affect the point chase in the Busch ranks here. David Green came in here with a 91-point lead over Craven and a 112-point lead over Chad Little. Ironically, the fourth-place point man, Hermie Sadler, was also in that wreck. Next week, the Monster Mile. 300 miles Saturday, or 200 miles Saturday. Feels like 300. The Split Fire Spark Plug 200 on Saturday. And Sunday, the Split Fire Spark Plug 500 presented by Pep Boys. You'll see both those races here live on TNS.
They handed out a bulletin in the garage area today, or a release, I should say, that they're going to, as soon as the race is over with, they're going to tear the track up. They're going to concrete it like they did Bristol. They're going to redesign the racetrack. They're not going to shorten the race, but they're going to make the track easier to drive, which will be better for the drivers and make it seem shorter.
Can you believe that?
That's what it said in the release.
Well, I believe they're going to concrete it, but is it going to make it easier on the drivers?
Well, they say they're going to redesign it. I don't know.
Sure. I know one thing. Bristol's a better racetrack now that they put the concrete up there, I think.
Yeah, it's a great racetrack. I guess we're getting ready to go back to green here.
The green is out?
We have gone back to green here.
And David Green does not get a particularly good start and has no chance of getting back on the lead lap with Kenny Wallace. Of course, Green is on a lap by himself.
Darrell, everybody's got to be extremely careful here. There's a lot of oil down on this racetrack.
Yeah, just caught David Green. I think he had it all over his tires, and I think he's probably wondering if he has a flat tire or not right now. But I think it's just stay dry.
Green picks up the throttle. And it looks like he's okay.
Yeah, you need to really, you got to know, your crew chief's got to tell you, clean that stuff off those tires before you start back racing.
Say he can afford to give some ground. Scoring has him on a lap by himself.
Setzer went by on about 4.5 cylinders, sounded like.
I would say David Green will want to get out of this group fighting here for positions and protect that point lead now that second, third, and everybody else has had trouble right now.
Chad Little in 23 battling Johnny Benson, trying to get to him. And it's also tightening up for the lead. They battle mid-pack. Just behind the front five, that's 6th and 7th. Chad Little and Johnny Benson. There are your leaders. Mark Martin is closing it down on Kenny Wallace.
Looks like Mark's car is a little better just entering the corner. Now watch when they take off here. Kenny Wallace's car is extremely strong up out of the corner.
This will be just a little different in the gear ratio. Maybe Kenny's pulling a tick lower gear than Mark is, and it's getting him up off the corner a little bit better.
The other thing, when you're running in second place, you have that front car to kind of gauge off going in the corner, and you can gain out going in the corner. But the lead car always gets in the throttle first and gets a little better run off the corner.
Right now, Kenny Wallace's car is flawless. He's doing everything right, and he's holding a pretty wheel.
I hadn't heard that in a long time. That's what the Wood brothers used to tell me. They just, son, you're holding a pretty wheel.
Pretty wheel. In my opinion, anytime you can put distance between you and that 60 car, you have an awesome race car, because that has been the best car on the circuit for quite some time.
And there's Steve Grissom now to 5th, ahead of Terry Labonte.
Yeah, Terry Labonte's the type of guy that'll get you cheese if you're not careful. Now, he's moving up in there on Grissom, and you see just behind him in the 23 car there, that's Chad Little.
That's 4th, 5th, and Chad Little is not on the lead lap. 4 laps down in 14th place.
Yeah, he's had an eventful night. I think everybody here has took one little cut at him somewhere along in the race, and we were talking a while ago. He's a pretty athletic little man. I don't think they want to bounce around on him very much.
Getting down to it here at Richmond, 22 laps to go. Still Kenny Wallace. Mark Martin in second. Dale Earnhardt, Steve Grissom, Terry Labonte. We'll be right back.
The cowboy's business is a business of silence. 100 miles of fence gives a person time to think, to wonder about who he is, what the world is coming to. Talk to a cowboy long enough and you'll get an opinion on everything. That's because he's had time to think about everything. Yeah, at Wrangler, we know cowboys. Our genes were invented by them. That's why the West is in us. Wrangler, the Western original.
Every day, we all find a way. A promise made, a promise kept, giving it our best.
Only the best garages display the Napa Auto Care sign. You know they'll fix it right, using Napa parts. No wonder Americans trust Napa Auto Care centers to keep their vehicles running.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
My darlings, I have procured a delicious meal. It's a shrimp and fish meal from Long John Silver's. 3 tasty battered hip shrimp and their famous fish. My Selfinator. And I brought you this game card in hope of winning a fun-filled sojourn of unparalleled proportions. You fragile hold. Hey, there's 3 of me. There's only one of you, Sweetie Pooh.
The Little Rascals, now playing at theaters in a Long John Silver's near you.
People ask me to endorse the strangest things. A green recliner? Not much of a sitter. I like going fast. 68 Shelby, and there's only about 300 and some odd made. This car rips.
Pure oil now.
Keeping them up's half the fun. They all get Pure Later filters.
Pure oil later.
I snag them from the track.
Legends live. A pure later, pure later.
You're watching TNN Motorsports' exclusive coverage of the Autolite Platinum 250. Brought to you by Purolator. Legends live on Purolator. 16 laps to go as Kenny Wallace runs away from Mark Martin. And Ricky Craven back in the pits another time. They replaced the radiator on that car. And going to put a little more water in it as Steve Grissom continues to battle with Terry Labonte.
Boy, they're having a war. That isn't a battle there. That's a war. Terry Labonte's been up beside of Grissom 2 or 3 times coming out of the 4th corner, just like he is right here, but he can't quite get enough up under him to get a position getting in the corner on him.
He can't get down into turn 1 in that low groove, buddy, because of the stage ride and the oil that's down there. It's got that streak there, and he can't get down under him right there.
Well, he's trying everything he can do. He's been all over Grissom. I wouldn't put it past him. He'll make a try or 2 at him.
Then you got Chad Little that's racing a lap down, but he's minding his business pretty good too, because I think he might be quicker than Terry.
Robert Presley don't care what they're doing. He's trying to make a move on the inside of Chad Little there.
Yeah. And here comes Johnny Benson. Now, Benson's on the lead lap. He's the 6th place car. Chad Little in 23 is 4 laps down.
Now, Terry's getting a little better bite off of turn 4. You see him get all the way up the side of Grissom. But like you say, Darrell, all that sand and all on the inside of that racetrack, you do not want to get the left sides into that.
No, they put that stage ride down, that's oil down there, and they just can't afford to drop down under him getting into 1. It will become more appealing as the laps tick away here, I assure you, but not right now.
Well, don't count Benson out. You see him making a steady move up on the back bumper of Chad Little there.
Yeah, I think if Benson makes any kind of advance on Little, Labonte will make his move. The spotter will tell him, and he'll go if he can.
Grissom's just got a little bit more motor than Terry does, looks
Ooh,
like.
he's loose getting off of 1, though. You see Labonte trying to get under him, getting into turn 3 there.
He got him this time.
Yep, not going to wait.
Grissom's really getting down the front straightaway quite well. There we go. He got him.
Yep. He got him up out of the bottom there at turn 3 and 4, and that's what it took.
As we watch this, Mike Waltrip goes a lap down. The race leader, Kenny Wallace, as Terry Labonte works over Steve Grissom.
Now, that's the thing about this racetrack. Even though Terry got under him and seemed to have the pass made, that outside line is still, if you can handle out there, you can carry more speed off the corner and keep that guy pinched down on the inside, and he can't get by you.
You see Benson trying to make a move on Chad Little there to get up there where he can get into the saddle a little bit.
Well, Terry's got him now, but you can have some real serious side-by-side racing here and be held up by a car that's not quite as quick as you are.
Darrell, what's it feel like coming around this front straightaway? It's not really a straightaway at all.
It's very deceiving because you're in a turn constantly, and you can take that low line down on the inside and beat a guy down to that corner, but you can't make the turn. He's got the angle into the turn, and you don't have.
Is it enough of a corner as we see it here? As you loop around here, is it enough of a corner coming around this front straightaway that you're pinned all against the side of the seat?
This track wears out my neck as much as any speedway we run, because you turn from the time you enter turn 3 until you exit turn 2. So you've only got a few hundred yards there where you're straight, and that's the only time you really have a chance to rest.
You see Benson there. They're swapping a little paint there, he and Chad Little. Benson's trying to get up here to take this lane a little deeper in the corner, but Chad Little's car is just a little bit quicker down straightaway, and Benson can't quite get under him.
Now, Chad Little and Robert Presley are racing for position. That's 14th place. Presley is in the 35 car, the Cincinnati Millicron Chevy, and right behind is his old ride with Phil Parsons aboard in the Luxair Chevrolet.
I don't guess anybody's noticed who's leading this. Oh yeah, Kenny Wallace is still leading this race, isn't he? I forgot.
Let me go back to page 6.
Yeah.
That's that old song, All By Myself.
Yeah.
There he comes.
Well, he's got 4 laps, or no, I guess he's got 5 laps to go. 4 laps to go, excuse me.
Well, I tell you, he started something at Bristol, and he's carrying it right on. I'm so happy for Kenny Wallace because he is such a delight to talk to, and he loves racing so much. It's good to see him have a lot of success.
You know what makes the difference, buddy? Confidence. He feels like he's on top of the world right now because he's got that ride in that 28 car. I think that's giving Kenny a real vote of confidence. People have criticized Kenny through the last year or so for not being able to get the job done. He thinks he's got the answer for him right now.
Well, the only thing that this Phil Martocci car has lacked has been the reliability. He's led a bunch of races. He's dominated races. He just needed to finish races.
You know, we just brought up a point a while ago. The 60 car, Mark Martin, the motor is Jack Rouse's. The motor in Kenny Wallace's car is also a Rouse car, so that's Rouse racing Rouse right now.
Rouse engine.
Yeah.
That's
Phil
Martocci car.
For 14. And Robert Presley. All
squeaks by Chad Little. Can he hold the spot?
White flag.
Last lap for Kenny Wallace. Here's this battle back at 14th, folks. Chad Little's got the spot. They're running all over Steve Grissom, the 5th place car.
And folks, they're racing their hearts out. And you know what the difference in money there is? $50. At the most.
Kenny Wallace scores his 5th career victory in the Busch Series. Mark Martin finishes 2nd. Here's the battle for 14th position. And right behind him for 5th.
Yep.
Give it to somebody.
Give it to.
Well, it was either Johnny
you want to give it to?
or Steve Grissom. I don't know. We'll take a look when we come back.
Friday on Music City Tonight, Brenda Lee, Joe Alsanye, newcomer Mac Rogers, Kariva Henderson, Olympic champion Mark Spitz, plus Mate Mash, our exciting game of love. Music City Tonight following the Autolite Platinum 250 here on TNN.
That's reality. I'm Deputy Chris Flack. Today, 80% of all home burglars will kick in the front door of your home to gain entry. Deadbolts and chain locks have been around for years, but only the Door Club home security system is recommended by the National Fraternal Order of Police. Its solid steel construction withstands over 2 tons of force, making it one of the strongest home security devices you can own. Help protect your family from harm. Install the Door Club today.
Tom Stamos, Bradenton, Florida. World's cheapest custom van. How about this custom van with ice-cold air, automatic power for $3,400? Anywheres in Florida, $5,900. How about this gorgeous Ford window van for $5,900? Anywheres in Florida, $8,900. Jose, what do you got?
Amigos, vengan a vernos en Tom Stamos en Bradenton, las más baratas campers y vans que pueden encontrar.
What did he say? Tom Stamos.
Getting a cold swig of Gatorade is Kenny Wallace, and he doesn't look like he's just raced hard for 250 laps as he jumps out of the Phil Martacci's TIC Financial Ford and celebrates his 5th career Busch Grand National victory.
Well, he did did a great job. The crew did, Kenny did. The car was outstanding, and I know he's excited.
Glenn?
Well, Kenny Wallace, congratulations. Finally got to see you win a race, but you've done something that no other driver for Phil Martacci has done. That's win 2 races in one season. You guys are really on a roll.
Well, I tell you, this is a good race car here. This is the car we won Bristol with, and you know, I qualified in the tires that we started to race on. They were pushing and qualifying. It didn't do that earlier, so I knew when we get some more tires on it to take off. So, you know, my credit to Goodyear, Gil Martin, whole Phil Martin team, and you know, this new Red Dog here. This is something on the hood that we're gonna let everybody know here in a couple weeks what it's all about.
Well, you can't tell us tonight.
No, I can't tell you, but I want to tell you so bad, but I can't.
All right, well, tell me this, would you? Now, you're a big-time star now. You're a winner on the Busch Grand National Circuit. You've got the 28 ride over in the Winston Cup pits, and what are we going to do for a color man in the booth next Sunday at Dover?
Well, man, I tell you what, Dover's been a tough track for me, you know, but last time there I ran good. I had a really good car underneath me, and I'm going to be in the 28 car next time, and we know that car runs good, and you guys are just going to have to, you know, you used to be a race car driver. You could take a lap in with me.
We don't want to color man that badly.
Well, I had a good time tonight, you know, and I mean, we're putting Ford manufacturer up front now. You know, we got 2 wins for them, and I'm excited, but I don't know. We went through a lot early this year, and now we're just winning races, and it's great. I mean, I think what's special about this victory is Mark Martin's so dominant, and to outrun him just tonight was very gratifying.
One quick question with Gil Martin. Gil, you told me about halfway during the race that strategy that you used, it paid off, but not only did you have good strategy, y'all had an awful good race car.
Man, we did have a good car. Kenny drove a great race tonight. I tell you what, I can't say enough good things about him. September 9th's been a good night for us here, because the first Busch race we won 5 years ago was here September 9th.
Well, we're going to let these guys go celebrate a little bit. Phil Martacci, the car owners here. Now let's go down to Randy Pemberton.
Out of his Winn-Dixie Ford, Kenny Wallace said not only is he glad to win, but he's glad to beat you, and you gave it a heck of an effort. What was the difference?
They were just hooked up better than we were. You know, they did everything right, and they were. We had the car to beat the first 120 laps, and they had the car to beat for, you know, for 150 or more. You know, they were just hooked up there at the end, and we just couldn't beat them. That's all. You know, he was playing with me.
Could it have been a gear difference? He looked like he was getting off better than you, or was it tighter than his car?
They had a different engine combination than ours, and that was better, and I chose this one, so I can't complain about it. They asked me what I wanted, and I wanted this one, so his would squirt off the corner a little bit better. It seemed to handle a little bit better, too. I was trying to make my time up getting in, and he was making time up getting out. He was just hooked up better.
We've asked these questions before, that if you can get anything for tomorrow night's race. You're coming back here running a Winston Cup race tomorrow night. Other than being tired, can you get anything as far as knowledge for the race car?
Nah, not tonight. Sometimes, but tonight, you know, it was just a great run for the Winn-Dixie team, and everybody, Ford and Goodyear had a great tire and just clobbered those other guys, you know, so it was a good night for us. We just got beat. That makes it more fun when you do win.
How's the 6 car looking for tomorrow's race?
I feel real good about it. I like that car a lot. It's working good, feeling good, and looking forward to it.
Thanks, Mark.
Mark Martin with a second-place finish tonight. Bobby Hamilton won here at Richmond on September 9th, 1989. That was Philmar Racing's first career victory. We'll be right back.
You know, working at AutoZone is more than just looking up parts or ringing up sales. Most of all is listening. Because my customers know more about their cars than I'll ever know. They know every rattle by heart. I mean, that car is their baby. So when they got a problem they're going to fix themselves, I'm going to do my best to help them get whatever they need, no matter what it takes. Because people like that, they don't deserve anything less than the best I can give them.
There's no place on earth that I'd rather be than out in the open, where it's all plain to see. If it's gonna get done, it's up to you and to me, and there's no place that I'd rather be. Come on along and head for the mountains of Bushmere. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth, and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bushmere.
I love my new hot rod. Those flames scare the other guys. 5,000 horsepower helps too. And a fat bankroll. You know, we've been running Autolite spark plugs forever, but I could wring more money out of someone else. Money's good. My crew burns it. So I tell the guys we're going to run a different plug. They say no. I say I'm the boss. They say Autolite keeps this monster lit. So I tell them I was just kidding.
Monroe Sensatrack, road sensing shocks and struts. Designed to give you extra control during a swerve. Extra control over rough roads. Monroe Sensatrack gives you both extra control and ride comfort automatically. Monroe Sensatrack, like 2 shocks in 1. Call 1-800-STRUT now for a Monroe Sensatrack dealer near you.
Welcome back to Richmond International Raceway. As the fans file out, kind of rare that we don't have a Winston Cup practice immediately following the Busch race tonight. They will run, of course, tomorrow night here at Richmond. Let's show you 5th place. See if any of us or any of you can tell us who finished 5th.
Well, it looks to me like Benson has a little bit of an edge right here. But you see the 31 car getting a little momentum right there?
Yeah. It kind of looks like when Bill Elliott and Alan Kowicki came down for the finish of one of the Winston Cup races here, and Bill just barely beat Alan out for that one.
That's right. Scoring is reporting Steve Grissom as the 5th place car, and in 6th, Johnny Benson. Let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
Well, guys, I do know who finished 4th. This man right beside me, Terry Labonte. Now, I got to apologize to him right up front. We reported early on that the conversation was between he and his crew chief about the car pushing like a pig, but wasn't your car.
No. We were scanning Mark Martin. It was his car. They told me his car was pushing like a pig, but our MW Wanda Chevy was pretty good tonight. We didn't qualify good. It's a brand new car for us, first time out with it, and, you know, we've got to be pretty pleased with the 4th place finish. We were off a little bit. We couldn't run with the 2 front guys, but we weren't bad.
Well, you hadn't been bad all year. You got to be pretty pleased about this whole year. You guys have had a great season in the Busch Series.
I know, we really have. I kind of wish now we would have run a few more races, I guess.
Well, you know, we asked this question during the broadcast. Maybe you can tell us now. How does a pig push? Wait, I'll say that again. How does a pig push? I knew I could say it.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that works. It's pretty bad, I think.
Well, okay. Congratulations to Terry Bonnie. Let's go back upstairs. Now drop the mic.
Glenn, how many laps down did you finish, though? That's the question there. Let's have another look at the photo finish for 5th.
You see Grissom's car is just a little bit ahead there. Yeah, that's a good angle right there.
Good call. Yeah. 5th place for Steve Grissom. Here's Randy.
Well, Steve and I are standing here discussing that. I was telling him we were taking another look out there, and he said it wasn't that close, so you knew you had him?
Well, I raised up there in the car and looked, and looked like we kind of inched him out there just a little bit. But I'll tell you, my hat's off to the Channel Lock crew. The car drove good from 32nd to 5th. That's not too bad for a day's work. Their last stop, we kind of gambled there just a little bit and went just a little bit too much on our adjustments. But hey, it's like the guy said, we come here to win the race, so let's just give it all we got, and we just come up a little bit short.
It's nice to see this team has struggled somewhat. It started out, Tom Peck was in this car earlier this year. You came back to run it. Give Channel Lock its first top 15.
Yeah, I tell you, the car's run well. This year, it's just when they dropped the checkered flag, we hadn't been able to be around there. It's just kind of the way our year's gone this year. But, I tell you, the whole Diamond Ridge Motorsports team, everybody's working hard, and we had a good run today qualifying in the Winston Cup car. And just like to say hello to Gary and Carolyn out in California, the bosses.
You didn't get worn out, did you, for tomorrow night's race?
Oh, shoot, no. We're ready to go.
Okay, thanks, Steve.
Steve Grissom picked up that 5th place finish as Victory Lane ceremonies continue. We'll be back with more from Richmond International Raceway right after this message.
There's one thing that a racing engine and a straight engine have in common. You want them both to last.
Haviland Formula 3 from Texaco.
To build a race engine that holds up, you have to use the best of everything, and Haviland does that job.
No other leading motor oil offers more complete protection to help your car run better, last longer. Good enough for Robert Yates. Haviland Formula 3. Why add just any motor oil? Add more life to your car.
At Pep Boys, we'll fit this Ford Taurus with a top-quality Niapco half shaft for about $191. Your dealer could charge around $400. Once again, deal? Dealer. Come to Pep Boys and drive away happy. At Pep Boys, top-quality Niapco half shafts come with our lifetime warranty. At other places, you may only get 90 days. Let's see, lifetime or 90 days? Get a lifetime. Come to Pep Boys and drive away happy.
Have you ever seen anything more amazing than Little Caesar's Italian sausage pizzas?
Give my regard to Broadway. Remember me to Herald Square. Tell all the gang at 42nd Street that I will soon be there.
No. Italian sausage pizza, loaded with sausage, green peppers, and onions. The newest from the whole menu of Little Caesar's Pleasers. Any two for $9.98. Product guarantee. Pizza. Or one for $5.99. Pizza.
One of these hammers is jacketed in high-impact polycarbonate. The other one is broken. The fiberglass jacketed hammer from Stanley.
The time has come for the cordless power roller from Wagner. It's so quick and easy, it can cut painting time in half. So get your hands on a real value, because the value of Wagner keeps on rolling.
To get to the front of the line.
There is Benson blowing by like he was shot from guns.
It's not always who's the fastest, nor the strongest.
We've got problems in turn 3.
But then again,
Eddie is out of racing room. Benson behind. Tony Raines will win.
ASA Racing, speed is our middle name. The GM Teamwork 300 live, only on TNN Motorsports Sunday.
Welcome back to Richmond. Lorianne Crook and Charlie Chase will tell you what's going on in the Music City tonight, right after our broadcast here from Richmond. Here's how they finished tonight. Kenny Wallace, 5th career win. Mark Martin, Dale Earnhardt, Terry Labonte, Steve Grissom, first top 5 of the year. Johnny Benson eats into that rookie lead just a bit more. Michael Waltrip on 4 3/4 cylinders. David Green, the point leader. Larry Pearson, Bobby Labonte, Mike McLaughlin, Bobby Dotter, Derek Cope, Chad Little, and Robert Presley. They were a nose to tail at the line. Nemechek, Spencer, Parsons, LaJoy, and Michael Rich. Tim Fedewa, Mike Stefanik. Dennis Setzer had a good run early, fell back. Ricky Craven involved in that crash, and Patty Moise in and out of the pits. And Tracy Leslie and Jim Bound, who was behind the wall at the finish. Stevie Reeves, Hermie Sadler, and the rest of these cars did not finish, starting with Jeff Purvis and looking all the way down the rest of the field through 39 cars. We usually do try to tell you who didn't qualify, but there were 27 of those cars, quite a few that did not make the show here. Here's Glenn.
Well, thanks, Mike. I've gone in for a tongue replacement, so I should be able to speak clearly now. I'll try, certainly, anyway.
Goodyear or Hoosier?
David Green, you finished 8th tonight. You have opened up a 133-point lead now over Chad Little, moved into 2nd. Not the best of nights, but certainly not the worst.
Well, that's true, you know, but the car ran so good first half of the race. And, you know, I was just kind of pacing myself off what Mark did because he's the guy to beat most of the time. And, you know, I followed him in on a left side tire change, and I hung with him for a few laps, and it went green forever, and I got so loose I just couldn't hardly hold on. And when it went green so long, I got down lap. But once we got the right side back on it, I was fine. But just that one little stretch. But you know, the car was real good all night long, and I'm happy for the crew. And the Goodyear tires were good. But you know, we keep running decent. We're going to pull this thing off, I believe. But it's a tough night here at Richmond.
Well, a tough night, but a good night for him. He also locked up that Busch Pole Award. He'll be in the Busch Clash come February. Congratulations on that. Now let's go down to Randy.
We've got Johnny Benson here. He came out of the trailer, said, "Where'd they put us?" I said, 6th. He said, I said, "At least Steve Grissom thought he got you the line." You said you thought you got him, did you?
Well, maybe we tied. I don't know. You know, Staff America Chevrolet ran great most of the day, and we got a little bit behind that first pit stop, but then caught a little speed down pit road and had to go longest line. So it was a tough day for us, but we're going to take top 6.
What about it? You got behind early on. Did you make a chassis adjustment that helped out? Because it seemed like there were a few cars didn't run well early, and then they caught up just a little bit, and they were able to stay on the lap that they were in from there on out the rest of the race.
Yeah, you know, I think I made a mistake. The car was a little loose to start with, and I had them tighten it up when we put all 4 on, and I don't know, it got a little too tight, so we had to loosen it back up again, and then it was kind of a little bit squirrely. So, you know, I probably wore tires off, and you know, it was my call, though. But, you know, like I say, Base Motorsports team did a great job, and you know, we're happy it's still in one piece.
Okay, congratulations on another good run. Top finishing rookie again.
Yeah, thank you.
And he closes in on Dennis Setzer's rookie point lead. Here's the Busch Series point standings. David Green, 133 ahead of Chad Little. Ricky Craven will now slip 9 points behind Little into 3rd. Kenny Wallace moves from 5th up to 4th, and Hermie Sadler drops from 4th to 5th, just a point separating them. Bobby Dotter, Larry Pearson moves ahead of Dennis Setzer. Johnny Benson comes up into the top 10, and Tracy Leslie is 10th. Tim Fedewa dropped out of the top 10 after that early wreck. We'll be right back to Richmond after this.
I love my new hot rod. Those flames scare the other guys. 5,000 horsepower helps too. And a fat bankroll. You know, we've been running Autolite spark plugs forever, but I can wring more money out of someone else. Money's good. My crew burns it. So I tell the guys we're going to run a different plug. They say no. I say I'm the boss. They say Autolite keeps this monster lit. So I tell them I was just kidding.
Here's to the cowboy, still a modern-day hero, standing up for what's right as he rides across this land. He still earns every dollar to pass through his hands. So here's to the cowboy as he heads for the mountains. No place he'd rather be than right here. So come on along and head for the mountains of Busch.
There's one thing that a racing engine and a straight engine have in common. You want them both to last.
Haviland Formula 3 from Texaco.
To build a race engine that holds up, you have to use the best of everything, and Haviland does that job.
No other leading motor oil offers more complete protection to help your car run better, last longer. Good enough for Robert Yates. Haviland Formula 3. Why add just any motor oil? Add more life to your car. Get a free Haviland racing cap of your choice when you buy a case of Haviland.
Racing legend Richard Petty gave us an incredible challenge to try and start his toys.
All my toys.
all at once with a single die-hard. So we hooked up all 9 engines, and the die-hard started every one.
All at the same time.
But would it still have the power to start this big toy? Here's die-hard. More power when you need it most.
Tonight's exclusive coverage of the Autolite Platinum 250 on the Nashville Network has been brought to you by Allied Signals Autolite Spark Plugs, guaranteed for 2 years no matter how far you go. And by Smooth Busch Beer and easy drinking Busch Light. Busch, the official beer of NASCAR. At Richmond International Raceway, Kenny Wallace picks up his 5th win tonight in the Busch Series, 5th career win. Mark Martin, Dale Earnhardt, Terry Labonte, and Steve Grissom. The top 5, Johnny Benson narrowly missing that top 5, ending up 6th. Sunday, the ASA GM Teamwork 300 from Michigan International Speedway, live on TNN at 1 p.m. And if you happen to be in New England, the Featherlight Modified Tour is at Thompson Speedway, one of the landmark events on the tour, the Thompson-Sunoco 300. That's always a big event. The Winston Cup car is in action here tomorrow night, and then we go to Dover.
Yes. The wonderful, long, and enduring 24 hours of Dover.
Yeah, but a fun race.
Oh, it is. I make fun of the race. You know, it's so long. It's 5 hours. But it really is. It's challenging, and it's a great racetrack to race on. It's not as bad as we make it out to be.
200 laps Saturday, 500 on Sunday. Get to cruise around the Chesapeake Bay in between. That'll be fun.
I guarantee you. And Darrell, good luck tomorrow. I tell you, you see how one of our announcers did tonight?
Yep.
It's your turn tomorrow.
I see how he did it. I think I got it figured out. I'll tell you a name to watch in the coming future. Not a driver, Gil Martin, the crew chief. He's a sharp young man. He sets that 8 car up. He does a great job.
Made a good call tonight, which, by the way, you picked as the right thing to do.
Right.
My hat's off to you. Take the 4 tires now, get the 2 later. That's what you said, Darrell, and that turned out to be the winning strategy.
That's the way I'd have done it.
All right, everybody in unison. Right, DW.
Yeah, let's go to Dover now and really do it up.
Our thanks to Randy Pemberton and Glenn Jarrett, who covered Pit Road. We will speak to you next weekend. Well, it's good to be back. We'll be at Dover Downs for Busch Grand National Racing Saturday and Winston Cup Racing Sunday. For Buddy Baker and Darrell Waltrip, I'm Mike Joy, congratulating Kenny Wallace on his Busch Series win. So long from Richmond International.